and of course, black. Everybody, it's the CDouble show. Now, our guy LaDarius is on his way. He should be. And when we get him, we're going to put him in the show, just like dead center, like we always do. But we got the one, the only. So I want to say, what's up, Ron Thomas, my homie? What's up?
What's up,
man? Another day, another dollar. You know, finally get the damn preseason over with. And yeah, we're going to talk about why we hadn't been on shows much, because I know a lot of people were wondering. And it's kind of the old saying: if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing. And also, it's why am I going to say something when I've told you all? I already knew how this was going to roll, but we'll get into all this once we get LaDarius in here. So just going to hit him up real quick. And then, man, look. So the off season's happened. We've had training camp. Is at his Raheemness, as we like to say. And Ron has definitely have some choice words for Mr. Raheem in our conversations. At the old laying of hands trick, if you will. So yeah, So this is the CLR show, folks. This is where me, LaDarius, and Ron, we're going to be talking about, the NFL, the Falcons. We'll talk other sports. We're also going to be discussing basketball if we want. This is kind of like your open show. Go open air. We're going to have some fun with it. Coming Fridays, we'll probably we haven't decided yet, but it'll probably be Friday, maybe Thursday, where we're going to do a show where we kind of set the stage for the next game. And then we'll review it on Monday. No need to review it on Sunday because we got a whole lot of podcasters out there that like to review on Sundays. So give them that shine. So, and it gives us a moment to actually just think about it and kind of, get your thoughts together, because when you do it right after a game, you're going to be real aggravated or real happy, and you're going to sound like a goober one way or another. So, with that being said, I know I explain on my end what happened. Got a lot of stuff that happened. I got sick at one point. Me and the little lady, she went to Texas. And once she came back, she got sick, and then I got sick. It was during our anniversary. So we were out for a whole week. We couldn't do nothing. And then fast forward the next week. So this past yesterday, we actually said goodbye to her. The funeral service was beautiful. So, you hate when someone passes. 88 is a long, good life, but, you're still going to miss them. So, the best thing I tell people is, we ain't here for a long time. We're here for a good time. And the best thing to do is just, appreciate everybody who's there at the time. And that's basically how we talked about the life. So LaDarius had an issue where his mother passed away also the week before. And we got him in our prayers and we just want to let that be known. So we all needed some time to kind of regroup. And not just that, but the preseason or training camp, to me, there was no buzz. Ron, you can also tell me what you thought, but there was no buzz. It's like everything I was hearing, I heard last year. So when I listen to Raheem talk, it goes in one ear out the other. There's no substance because we didn't play anybody, or we didn't play the offense guys. And our quarterback only played 3 games. I would have liked to at least seen him play a series. I'm not asking for a whole game or a whole quarter. I'm just saying a series. I'm just saying play some snaps.
Right.
And, then last day of practice, we get the news of Caleb McGarity being out. And then they're being very secretive about it, which tells me I really don't like this team sometimes or this coaching staff because it's like, stop hiding. Just come on, tell us what's up. Let's move on. But yeah, let's talk about it, man. What's your thoughts of the Falcons? I mean, I know, like I said, when I was listening to the preseason talks and everything, I just kept hearing the same stuff. What about you? What did you think?
You're right about that. I kept on hearing the same old, we will not play our starters and, injuries and all that stuff. A lot of people should not make it on this team, in my opinion. I just speaking from my opinion.
Yeah, no, I got you.
A lot of people should not make it on this team. Let me say that. Let me say that again for the people in the back.
Yep.
A lot of people should not make it on this team. If you've been here, let's just say you've been here for 3 years and you're a backup to the backup to the backup and you have not got no better, you should not even be here on this team whatsoever. That Dallas game was and we just play our backups with garbage.
Yeah.
Trash. I mean, that was bad all around. But some people, like Felipe Franks, I don't know why this man keep on getting.
He got pictures. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
He got some pictures of the ownership.
He got something. He keep on getting a chance on different teams. Now, I know we need bodies. I know that. But Felipe Frank?
Yeah.
Don't make no sense. But anyway. But I pray to God we don't have no injuries of the starter this year because the backups to the backups. Guys, you should have cleaned out your locker. As soon as that 0.00, you should have went to your locker and cleaned it out. That was pathetic. That was pathetic.
I'm not arguing. That last game was very embarrassing. It's like you could just tell the coaching staff just looked at everybody and went, "All right, so are we going to play? No, wing it."
It seemed like, I hate to say that, almost everybody in Atlanta that don't got nowhere to stay or something like that got a chance to play in that game.
I thought they were getting people out of the stands. Hey, you can play? Yeah, come on.
Hey, you weigh 500? Yeah, come on down. Hey, you weigh $150? Come on down. That was pathetic. They should not even have put that game on TV.
All right. Well, look, we got LaDarius in the house, and Mike's works. So that's awesome. What's up, brother?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Oh, man, we do it. We chilling. We're just doing our thing. Look.
Well, I can leave. I'll just leave and come back, and then I'll be back.
No. You part of the show too. But no, for real. We know about Mama, and we just want to let you know we love you, and we're glad that you're able to be with us because, This is kind of like, we've always had like a really good friendship, and we just want you to know we appreciate you. Even in the hard times, just know that we're just glad that you're able to be here with us. So we appreciate you.
I appreciate those words. I thank you guys so much for the support you've shown, and CDouble, I'm sorry to hear about your aunt. And so, was glad to be back here to kind of get our minds off and just talk sports for a while.
Yeah. I mean, so let's talk about it. I mean, we were just talking about the Falcons organization, because look, if I know my coach is not playing for starters or guys on offense, so because he was really bragging about playing his defensive guys, but if you're not playing your guys on the offense, there's no real story. You're basically telling us we're so good, we're going to be ready for game one.
Mm-hmm.
Why then do I need to have shows saying, well, this is what we should look like? It should. It's not fact. It ain't based on anything but people just trying to be hopeful. And if you're hopeful, that's fine. But we're talking about trying to cover a team, and I'm going to go here. I personally thought they should at least had some games, at least the first two games. You could have slid Michael Penix in for at least a series or two to play. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. You could have had him just hand off the ball, I thought. But I knew they weren't do that. But what was your thoughts on this whole with the Falcons and the way they've addressed preseason?
Listen, to me, I'm not going to say it's a non-issue, but to me, we have to understand two things. Understand who the head coach is.
Yep.
And understand what his philosophy is.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come as a surprise to anything that happened.
Yeah.
Because there's 32 coaches, and most of them take different approaches. Just like with Andy Reid, we would see Patrick Mahomes for maybe a series or two, especially back when it was 4 preseason games.
Yeah.
Like you would see the big game was game 3. Like you would see the starters play like a quarter, maybe even a half in some cases. But for Raheem, and even when Kirk Cousins was the starter, we didn't see much.
Yeah.
That's always been his philosophy and the mentality, whether it's right or wrong. It's just my personal opinion. You have to see what you have because, listen, this is a 17-game stretch.
Yeah.
Training camp can only do so much. OTAs can only do so much. You need that live action to me, even if it's for a series or two.
Yeah.
It's like it was reported that like Justin Herbert wanted to play. Because why? Reps, live reps. Even though it's preseason and you maybe play against a bunch of scrubs that you'll probably see at your local Walmart or Target's Monday, it doesn't matter. But they're on the field and you want that live action. And for Coach Raheem, he has to understand that this is a make or break season for him. If this team does not win the division or make the playoffs, I don't see how you make a case for season 3. And the preseason, like I said, preseason doesn't matter to a certain extent, but Michael Penix, this is his first full season. I'll be done in a minute. I don't want to take up too much time. But
no, you're fine. Keep talking. I don't mind.
but the reality is that this is Michael Penix's first full season under center. And we have to understand that the reality is, like, yeah, we have to see what he has at least. It's not about you're giving away trade secrets, okay? We have to see what Michael Penix, get him those, like I say, OTAs and preseason and training camps can only do so much. Get him in a game. Because if you're saying, okay, cool, if Andy Reid, a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, is playing a 2-time MVP and a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, even if it's a series or a quarter, that should tell you something. And so that's the concern I have. Is that personally, Let them play for a series. Like, to your point, even if you throw the ball a simple dink and dunk, like a simple route, we don't need to see the long pass.
Right.
We just need to see is Penix. Let's get him some reps, and we keep it moving. And the fact of the matter is that's concerning because this is the same concern we had last season.
Yep.
And look what happened. Like, preseason matters because especially for players who are rookies, second, third year players, they need those reps. And like I say, OTA, training camp, oh yeah, you can play against other teams in scrimmages, but it doesn't beat playing against somebody else in a preseason game, which is the next step away from being a regular season game.
Yeah.
Like, it may not matter to the fans, it may not, but it matters to that roster. It matters to the chemistry of that team, especially to a guy like Michael Penix, who I think is going to be great. But we need to see something, because something is clearly better than nothing.
Yeah.
So like I say, it doesn't surprise me at the mentality, but Coach Sproul has to understand that it's essentially win the division, playoffs or bust. And despite the injuries to our offensive line, this team has to win the division. This team has to make the playoffs because this is a top 5 offense, and the defense is even top 15. We could be a sleeper team, but it's all about putting it together. So I think having those reps do matter.
Yeah. And LaDarius, we're talking about the Falcons. We didn't do projections. We didn't stare at the schedules and go win, loss, because that really you don't really do it because we all know injuries and stuff like that will happen. But the question is more, we all agree that this is going to have to be get the playoffs, or win the division, win the playoffs regardless. But is there any way possible that Raheem keeps a job if they don't make the playoffs? I'm just bringing this up before we get into anything else. Do you see a way that Raheem is able to stay around? Because I don't know. Maybe it's his bravado, but there are times it's almost like I feel he thinks he's bulletproof, and I know that really aggravates a lot of people. But I'm just asking: is there a way that Arthur Blank would be like, oh, he's fine, he's a great coach? When if we don't make the playoffs, that'd be 8 years in a row. But anyway, what say you, LaDarius or Ron? Whoever wants to take it first.
I just see Arthur Blank be like, you know what, we're gonna get here another year. I just see that because I did a head coach 3 years. But I mean, you got your guys, you run it, these guys, and if we don't make it to the playoffs, if it were up to me, he would have been on yesterday. That's just me, though. But I'm not the owner. So, Arthur Blank, I think Arthur Blank going to get here in 3 years.
All right. What say you there, LaDarius?
I agree because that's the format that he's kind of always subscribed to, and he's always subscribed to the 3 year plan. To Ron's point, the only way that I see him getting rid of Raheem is if Terry Fontenot goes too, because that to me is the bigger question. Is that does he give Raheem a 3rd year? Would Terry Fontenot be the general manager after this season? Because despite the fact that he drafted getting James Pierce Jr., despite him getting Javon Walker, those are great, but here's the reality. The Caleb McGarity issue and the offensive line issue, that's a GM issue because you knew when we lost Dolman, you knew that this was an issue. And like people were talking about, Umberto was talking about like potentially going out to the Rams and getting Joe Noteboom, which I think makes a lot of sense given the familiarity that he has with Zach Robinson from his times with the Rams. Like, we need to see a move that goes, okay, we're trying to fix the, and listen, to me, Raheem and listen, they're both tied together. Terry and Raheem are tied together, whether it's fair or not, in the same capacity where it's not the same capacity where, like, the GM of the Chiefs, Brent Veach, is tied to Andy Reid. Because Andy Reid, here's the thing. When Andy Reid got fired from the Eagles, the Eagles struggled. The GM stayed in and see how that worked out. Historically speaking, if you keep the GM in the head, if you keep the guy that hires the guy you fire, at some point they're going to fire you, which is why I was adamant for years about getting rid of Dimitrov, because of his, the only successful coach he hired was Mike Smith. Everybody else, like, don't get like the Petrino stuff, the way he built, the way Dimitrov let draft picks go by. Yeah, it's like imagine telling your kids, "Hey, we could have had T.J. Watt." But you know what? Imagine, hey, you know what? We drafted Jamal Anderson. Like for her. And it's like we drafted Tack McKinnon. Like, these are guys he drafted. So this is why I say GM and a head coach is usually tied together. And so I can't say for certainty, but historically speaking, I can see Raheem getting a third year. But let me tell you something. If it doesn't, even if it's a winning record and we don't make the playoffs, which I doubt given this division, I think it's going to be a very improved division. But if you can't walk out of this division at least competing for the NFC title at the minimum, where you get to host a playoff game, I think at some point Arthur Blanke's going to listen to the fans and be like, I got to do something, especially when Bill Belichick is still out there. Like, he's at North Carolina, but his contract, the way it's kind of constructed, he can hop from that plane from Chapel Hill to Flowery Branch rather quickly.
That means we get to see Miss Belichick, Miss Jordan.
And so he can hop on that plane because at the end of the day, that's who he wanted all along. And as an owner, you own the team. You should be able to hire the guy you want. You should be able to get the coach that you want. You listen to your general manager. But listen, it felt like a low-key conspiracy because Fontenot went to McKay's like, hey, man, if he hires Bill Belichick, man, I'm going to be out of a job. Because he's going to want control of this roster. He's going to want to have, and I said, wait, that's my job. Are you going to really use your job for this guy? And I said, no, I got a guy. I got this Raheem Morris. I got a guy. Listen, he used to be a head coach. What about his record? Don't worry about his record at Tampa Bay. Don't worry about it. We're not going to talk about it. He has a Super Bowl. He was a great defensive coordinator.
And he can
This
smile.
is the guy. This is the guy. And that's the route they went. So if Raheem doesn't get, like, I'm with Ron. The Arthur Blanke, historically, he should get a third season. But I'm telling you right now, if the expectations are to the level where if we can't, listen, let's just put it out there. This is the weakest division in the NFL. Let's just put it out there. It's the weakest division in the league. Because it just is. If you can't win the NFC South, and here's the thing, we lost the division. I had to remind people of this. We lost the division to a team we beat twice. Make it make sense. How do you justify to the fans, hey, all you got to do is beat Carolina? Okay, we could do that. And we didn't. Hey, we could have beat the Commanders on Sunday night. Why? Because our coach thought timeouts was something you could take home on the flight back from JFK back to Atlanta. back to Hartsfield Airport. He thought, oh, we could take these back, right? Oh, we could store them up and we could save them for another game.
He was looking for the Halo board in Washington. He was like, "Where's the Halo board? They have one in Atlanta."
Yeah. He's like, "Is it there?" Okay, no, I'm not going to call it that. It's like, so to me, it depends on the only way I see it being the exception is if we don't win respectfully, there better be injuries. And I'm not wishing for injuries, but if this is a healthy roster and you can't make the postseason, Arthur Blank be like, listen, he gonna be like, you know what? I told you so. I'm gonna go get my guy now. And you all of you can go because I should have went with my guy in the first place. I said because y'all problem was that he was afraid of taking your job. All you do is take a reduced role in the organization. Y'all still would have been able. Did you want to work with Bill Belichick? No, you didn't. I said it took all of y'all to gang up on an 80-plus-year-old man to force him to hire someone he probably didn't want to hire. Why? Because y'all worry about y'all jobs, and y'all worried that an 80-year-old man hiring an almost 80-year-old man, like arguably the greatest coach of our generation. That's what y'all worried about. That let's put the brass tacks out there. Bill Belichick should be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Had it been up to Arthur Blank. I'm not trying to discredit Raheem in any capacity, but if this doesn't work, it's going to be an "I told you so" moment, and it's rightfully so. So I'm rooting. While I'm rooting for the team to succeed, if we fall short of the postseason again, Arthur Blank's like, I told you so.
Yeah. No.
So,
man, you said it perfectly. I mean, look, my thoughts were this. I go back to what we talked about. The owner was wanting Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of us knew that. And it was Terry. It was, Skeletor. It was, everybody and their mama trying to, keep a job. We're still in the same spot. And that's the other thing. And yes, we're a team that swept the division champion, but yet we lost the shot.
Mm-hmm.
You can't you can't undo that. All right, hold on. We got some comments actually up in here. Let's see if they'll show up here. Give me a minute. Christy coming into, yep, rise up, yep. And then, miss y'all. Dear Lord, gotta love how this thing doesn't show up. All right, I've been watching Ron and LaDarius. Look at that. You guys got groupies. Yep, it's good to be back. I'm just here so I don't get fined. But seriously, when I think of the leadership, my problem is this. Everybody wants to try to cultivate and build this virtuous football franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And my problem is we're not that. We don't have a year streak in the playoffs. We have the opposite. We're 1 year away from being 8 years without a playoff trip. And, okay, Michael Penix, we all agree, had good poise, played well the last 3 games. Now I got to be the idiot, or not the idiot, but the jerk. 1-2. He won 1 game, that was against the Giants, and lost the other. The one game was totally because his coach was trying to find the Halo board in Washington. Mm-hmm. Did not know. He thought it traveled, I guess. Then you saw the other, and by the way, I heard people saying Raheem should have been a Coach of the Year candidate or how he should have had recognition. You get no recognition when you literally looked at your team and went, you got it. Yeah, nah. Give me Dan Campbell. Give me, any other coach. I mean, Nick Sirianni, for God's sakes. I look at this team, and then the big story I heard after watching quarterback season 2, I saw how TJ Yates, the brain surgeon quarterback coach he is, with his in-depth analysis. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you get the ball. I see you in a different team, and now you're in a different team. And you know what I mean? Literal conversation I heard on Quarterback 2 series. Spellbinding. I really wish – thank God they didn't play because I think we would have lost brain cells. Yes, Ron?
He one of the ones that I just said before LaDarius came in here. If you've been here for a long time and you don't know what you're doing, you don't need to have a job here.
And then our guy, Ryan, the historian, love Ryan, love his shows. Ryan was, man, he stands on that boat. He was the Titanic boat captain. He is standing all the way down to the water's getting mid-deep around him. Trying to tell me how, cerebral and how collected this quarterback, the new quarterback coach is, Mr. Williams. And then I heard Mr. Williams talk about his quarterback. And I'm going, okay, this is where I want to hear some insight. Give me something. And the man tries to say Kyle and Michael are connecting because they could drive to the games together. Folks, in all reality, me and Ron and LaDarius, we talk a lot. So if that's the case, we connect a lot better than these guys. Because when I heard that, it is as bad as some chick from ESPN, McNutt, not knowing Barry Sanders versus Shedeur Sanders. All right? This is some ridiculous BS. Kyle Pitts and first of all, can we just look at the season and just go, if Kyle Pitts gives us anything, good. I'm not expecting much. I'm not trying to, put a number out there for him. I just play. If you play well with Michael Penix, good. Anything to get us into the playoffs, I'm down with. But when you tell me they are connecting because they've taken a car ride together, I'd rather heard him say, they like to go to McDonald's and they share a 20-piece nugget together and they dip the sauce together. That's commitment. I know y'all heard some of this stuff, so please tell me y'all's thoughts about this.
To me, I am putting a number on it for Kyle Pitts.
Go ahead. I know you are.
To me, Kyle Pitts, you got to give me at least 800 yards. Can you even do that? Where the Kyle Pitts when you first got to Atlanta? That the Kyle Pitts I'm looking for. We should not got to wait for you to have a contract year. To have a big year. You should have been doing it. Yeah, we know you've been injured. But you still play. So was you injured? I mean, that all I've been hearing, this man been injured, but you still play. I mean, you don't really show up half of the time.
All right.
You give the ball to he been giving away the football. I mean, who you playing for, Kyle Pitts? Are you playing for Atlanta or are you playing for another team? We forgot about the Giants game. He gave up gave the ball to the corner. Oh, here you go. But all serious, Kyle Pitts, you got to show me something. At least 800 yards this year. I would take that. Maybe 7 touchdowns. I would take that. But anything less, I cannot take it. That's just my opinion.
And those are the thoughts from Ron Thomas. We would like to hear the thoughts of LaDarius Brown.
Sorry, I was snacking. I apologize. I didn't know Ron was. I thought Ron was going to go another 2 minutes so I could finish eating my chips. But that's okay. We're here.
We're going live.
We're live. We're doing live, pal.
Ah!
We're doing live. We can pre-tape it. No, we're doing live.
Here, let me start that
Eastern,
over.
1:30 Pacific. We're doing live. I don't know what the question was. But
we're talking about the whole Kyle Pitts and
I know. Yeah, that's what here's the thing.
What was it?
As the only But so here's my thing. It feels like, listen, I've named all my fantasy teams. Kyle is not the Pitts. So, so I have to defend Kyle Pitt. But here's the thing. And this is where I say the issue is twofold.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I can tie in another player, my thing I want from Kyle Pitts and like Christie's like what the old line needs because I wouldn't tell you. And this is where the issue comes in for me. Because if you look at how the offense was constructed, it's like the tight end position was seen as an extra offensive lineman. Essentially, that might become essential given our issues now. And Kyle Pitts is a receiving tight end. He's not like he's not like a George Kittle or like a guy who gets on the. So here's the thing I want from Kyle Pitts. I want Kyle Pitts to be the guy that was worthy of the 4th overall pick. That's all, because we thought season 1, like, oh man, great. His name was mentioned like with Mike Ditka for a great rookie season for tight ends. When you get mentioned in that sort of Hall of Famer like Mike Ditka, who's a great tight end in his own right, like, okay, we got a great tight end. We got a guy, who we had, like, even if it was the back end for Tony Gonzalez, like, even though it was the back end of his career. The reality is with Kyle Pitts, and it's not defending Kyle Pitts, it's a mixture of two things. And it reminds me similar to the situation with Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson, where, ironically enough, he was the 4th overall pick in his draft class.
That 4th pick ain't good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying if you have a 4th pick, I'm not saying trade it. I'm just saying reconsider who you're getting. That's all. Draft a kicker. Do something. But my thing is this. But going with the Kyle Pitts point, Kyle Pitts had, and I said this on this show, and I'll say it anywhere. Kyle Pitts has shown the talent to be an elite tight end. We saw that first season, but here's the reality. And on that end, it's a mixture of two things. A, the offensive scheme really never fit him. And number 2, Kyle Pitts has shown that he doesn't commit a lot on every play. So it's a twofold situation where I'm not going to put it all on the Falcons and I'm not going to put it all on Kyle Pitts. To me, it's an even distribution of blame. Because Kyle Pitts is not a tight end, and if you watch this tape from the University of Florida, he was never really asked to play down when the run game. So the concern is, can Kyle Pitts adjust now with these injuries? Is he willing to be a team player and learn to be a blocking tight end? this is something that we don't know about, and we'll see as the season progresses. Is he willing to add that element to his game? Because I don't care what sport it is, I don't care what athlete it is. If you're not willing to get better, you're not going to last. I don't care how much talent. And we've seen talented players walk through this league and every other league. But why do they flame out? It's either one or two reasons. It's either A, maybe the talent was overhyped, or B, they weren't willing to commit themselves to be better. Mm-hmm. And Kyle Pitts could fall into a situation where he can be better. If this team needs you to block, you block. Because with the offensive line issues now, he should have been doing it even when the offensive line was healthy. But what did they do? They would pull you out and put somebody else in. You were essentially replaceable. You're not an every down tight end like a George Kittle or like a Sam. You were a guy that they could pull you off the field on run plays because they knew you weren't committed to blocking. That's what I want to see. And it's similar for the situation in Indianapolis where they brought in competition. They brought in Daniel Aloysius Jones.
Aloysius? What?
They brought in this guy, the guy who played for the Giants, who stumbled on national television. That Daniel Jones, that guy who had the easiest touchdown run, probably the like that looked like, man, is that Barry Sanders? No, that's Daniel Jones. Like that's how much space he had to score a touchdown. Yeah, that Daniel Jones. They brought him into Indianapolis to compete with Anthony Richardson. And we know when Anthony Richardson got hurt, but it didn't look like even when he was healthy that Anthony Richardson was going to win the job. Competition is supposed to bring out the best in you. See, like to understand this, when Jonnu Smith was there in Atlanta with Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith was brought in to compete with Kyle Pitts. And guess who are we talking about more at the end of the season? We're talking about Jonnu Smith, not Kyle Pitts. Just like with the Colts, Daniel Jones, I believe, is the 11th starting quarterback for the Colts since I believe either Andrew Luck or Peyton. I think it's it. So I say that because both of their careers are similar, and here's the ironic part: they both attended the University of Florida too. And if people listen, as someone who lives in Florida, loves the team, they should have asked me. I would have gave you a scouting report. Can I tell you? Listen, I love watching them at the Swamp. Let me tell you something. NFL, I gotta say, Kyle Pitts is not going to be a blocking tight end. He has to develop into one. If he adds the blocking element to his game, you can't stop Kyle Pitts. For Anthony Richardson, think about this. He only started one season. He was a red shirt. He had redshirted his freshman year. He started in his sophomore season, and he couldn't throw the ball complete. Didn't have I think he was like a 53.8 completion percent. It wasn't even 54, 55%. In the NFL, to be an elite, some kind of a passer, you need at least 60%. He wasn't there. Elite passers, like even like when we talk about the Drew Brees in the air, like the much as we don't like, they were like if you're not in that 60% kind of percent, range, like because 50% is not going to do it. I said he needed to stay another season to develop, or if you draft him, he can't start week 1. You draft, you develop him, and that's what Kyle Pitts. If you would have give Kyle Pitts, and he would have put, listen, Jonnu Smith came in. How you doing, Winston? Came in to compete with Kyle Pitts. He wasn't supposed to take his job.
Yeah,
it's like think about this. We've all had to face a situation where maybe someone came into your job or someone came into your life, and it was viewed as a competition. Like you were supposed to win it. They brought we need to push this guy. And what did Jonnu Smith do? He pushed Kyle Pitts out because we were talking about Jonnu Smith, not Kyle Pitts. That's the situation with Kyle Pitts. I want to see Kyle Pitts be the guy who develops to be a great tight end. Because the people argue, oh, well, no. I'm not gonna people like, oh, drafting Bijan. Listen, I tell people, we like respectfully, Bijan saved a season where we should have been worse because of how great he is. If the season was banked upon Kyle Pitts, we'd have been cooked. We would have been barbecued. We would listen, whatever kind of wings you want, it would have been extra hard. Listen, if you were banking on Kyle Pitts, and I love Kyle Pitts, the only Falcons jersey is a Kyle. I'm telling you. So this is not coming from a place of hatred or vitriol. This is coming from a place of, listen, I've seen the man play. He played for my gate. I'm telling you what I seen, what eyes done seen. And eyes done seen, eyes could have told you. That in the offense, he was asked to play in that Florida. He was not asked to be a blocking tight end. Now, your game is supposed to develop. Now, how many years did he even try to work on being a development? Did the coaching staff try to get him to develop that? Because we could blame, we could blame a lot of people, but accountability matters. Kyle Pitts need to take a look like I need to get better. Anthony Richardson needs to do the same because people were brought in to compete with you, but you let them take your job. Just like listen, if it were up to you, it's like some guy coming in and you let some guy take your girl. Like, listen, the girl they were supposed to make you. The whole goal was to make about jealousy. Oh no, this guy comes in and full on takes your girl. Plan backfire. That's essentially what has happened with both the Kyle Pitts and they came in and took your job, took your girl, took your wallet, took everything you owe. The fact of the matter is, what are you going to do about it? And this is for Kyle Pitts. This is for Anthony Richardson. I know they're talented. We've seen talented players in this league. But you know why? Like, go back to Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell doesn't have a job because this man was given a blank tape. And the coaching staff said, let's see what happens here. Because they questioned his commitment. This fool was handed the tape and was like, oh, this is, and people are like, man, there was nothing on that tape. So what you were watching, I don't even want to know what you was watching. Because there wasn't nothing on that tape. Oh. So at the end of the day, and I didn't mean to take too long, but I'll end with this. Competition should always bring out the best. And when it's competition, you got to look in that mirror and take accountability. Because listen, if they come and take your job, take your girl, take your wallet, and take everything else, that says more about you than it does them. Because Daniel Jones, you let Daniel Jones, a guy who was benched for Tommy DeVito, he was benched for Tommy. I'm not gonna call that man Tommy Cutlets because that to me that feels offensive and it shouldn't be offensive, but it just feels offensive. I'm not calling a grown man no Tommy Cutlets because that sounds like a name for a different industry. Okay, so hey, I'm telling you, want to see my cutlets? Like, no. Daniel Jones to me is not a terrible player, but you let Daniel Jones come in, Anthony Richardson, and take your job.
And then Danny Pennies, no.
Danny Pennies.
We'll be right back. I didn't.
That's the Hall of Fame. That's the Hallmark Channel movie.
Get started. But at the end of the day, that's the whole point. Is that what I want from Kyle Pitts is to show the potential. Which is true, Christy. Like any mistakes Kyle makes with the blocking or receiving, again, listen, he you know what? I'm not going to disagree with that. But I'll piggyback because Christy's right in what she's saying. But the thing is, Christy's right, and this is what fans need to understand. If he's out there willingly trying to block, I'm not going to be upset because listen, you can half-ass do something, and you can actually commit to do it, But listen, we still have Frank. You know what, Christy? We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Lord, have
You mean Felipe flipping? You mean Felipe flipping Franks with that guy? The guy who did that? Man.
The man that must have some pictures on the coaching staff, the GM staff, and everybody.
After he got that touchdown, he will call himself pointing to the crowd.
No, he was pointing to see where the exit was so he can get out of there. That's what he was doing.
He's like, "Hey, put this on my mixtape.
Hey, put this on my reel when I get cut." And I hate to say this again. Felipe Franks was a former Gator. I don't know.
Ouch. That hurt.
Those Gators don't do too well for you sometimes.
Listen, you don't tell me anything. I know. Listen, I tell people, hey, Percy Harvin, he went to Florida. Oh, yeah, that's great. Listen, you know what? I tell people this. When Rex Grossman is the one guy, like, man, who was great? Rex Grossman went to a Super Bowl. Think about that.
Yeah.
For doing absolutely nothing.
That's kind of why I say Lovie Smith should get a lot more respect than he gets. But yeah, that's
look.
if I see Lovie, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Look, like I just said, we gave a nod to Lovie. My thing is this, man. When I think of the tight ends, possible tight ends that we would have on the roster, I'm more excited about Warner and Simmons. And last I checked, those guys aren't your typical starting tight ends. And my thing is this. It's like this. If Kyle played to his true potential, even though we don't know what that is, could he outdo these? He could. But again, this is something, and I will say this. I'm not putting stock in Kyle. Coming into this season, I have not said, oh, if Kyle could give us this, if Kyle could. No. That even my brain was trying not to say. So Franks has naked pictures of somebody. There's more comebacks than the dude that's lonely at the top.
Let's
see. And then I hope it's not. He's worse than Ric Flair. Hi, I'm on the Blanks. Let me show you my helicopter. Anyway,
Einhorn is the man. Oh my God, that's my God. Plunger, play the crying game, play the music. I'm done.
Oh my God. See, this is why we're doing shows together, folks, because we have too much dead time on our hands. Please don't let it be Beaver. Look, as long as there's no Diddy on the plane, we're good. You never want to go full Diddy on the plane. So with that said, but yeah, the rookie Joshua Simmons, I actually like him. I hope we can see him get some play time. Because LaDarius is right. When you watch the tight ends, and especially now with the injury concern, which is now what we're going to shift to, this offensive line, what was getting a lot of prep about how good it's been, how, they're consistent. And then Caleb McGarity goes down. And then the craziest thing, because we're all like, okay, well, at least they got Storm Norton. And then you read Storm Norton's down for 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, potential fixes, what should I do? Because I'm going to tell you, Christy kept bringing it up. You look at and I'm looking at the roster page of the tackles.
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to look at Michael Penix and just go, okay, bless the food, bless the, you're about to die. Your blind side is nil because we ain't got that apparently. That did not come into the bench. But yeah, what did y'all think about the injury with McGarity and then Norton, and then what ways do y'all think the Falcons should maybe look at in trying to fix this? Because I don't know about y'all. This is the kid's blind side.
Right. Right.
I kind of want to make sure this is taken care of before we go
Right.
into a game against Blitz. I'll say we'll start with Ron because I've been wanting to hear this one.
We got to sign some free agents because if we depend on our backups to the backups to the backups, and by the way, to the backups.
Yeah.
Michael Penix will not last two games. And we need some backups that started in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Now, cut day is Tuesday. Tevin Fontenot need to be on the phone ASAP right now. Whoever finna get cut, he needs to sign in ASAP. What I seen on TV on our backups on the offensive line, I'd do a better job than that. A homeless man on the corner to do a better job than that. Ray Charles to do a better job than that. And Stevie Wonder. Because they were terrible, that Dallas game. And the other games. So that's what I think, in just my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, the Dallas game was horrible. If you sat and watched the whole Dallas game, you're a masochist. You're a masochist. You like pain. You like torture. BSDM lifestyle is not just for you. You should have just stayed and watched that game because that was painful. Dear God, I mean, that's just some bad football. And look, Dallas Cowboy fans, I know you all are out there. That was not your Super Bowl, so stop acting like you did something.
But they're acting like they going to the Super Bowl, baby. This our year after one preseason game.
When I had hair. All right, LaDarius, what say you, my man, about the whole tackle situation and everything?
I don't know if I can top any of that, but I think if you're Terry Fontenot, I think the best route, look at the free agent market. And so you look at guys that are potentially available. And if we're looking at specifically, let's look at the tackle position. It's pretty thin out there. I think Jedrick Willis is still at their former Cleveland Brown. Isaiah Wynn used to be with the Dolphins. And then I don't know if possible, if I would call Baltimore about Joe Noteboom, who used to be on the Rams at the same time that Jack Robinson was there. I think if you look at the free agent pool, if you don't like anything there, I would make phone calls and see, like, to your point, get like cuts. I would see who has a very deep offensive line and is willing to give up a tackle for maybe a 6th, 7th round pick, a late round pick. Because like mentioned in the comments, like, listen, we have to face the reality that, like, Norton's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, like it's mentioned. Like, Bergeron could like, there's options, but the reality is we need to get help and get depth at the line position. So if I'm Terry Fontenot, go look at offensive line, go look at free agency, and go look at the trade market. Because worst case scenario, I give up a 6 or a 7 if it means protecting my franchise quarterback and Michael Penix. Because we would still have the conversation had it wasn't his blind side, but since it is his blind side, we gotta you have to exhaust all options. And I think, like I said, Joe Noteboom from the used to be on the Rams, now with the Ravens. Jedrick Willis is still available. Like, see what we can do, because at this point, you have to make some sort of move. So if I'm Terry Fontenot, who's probably been on the phone, the call, you need to get somebody in before the season starts, because if Storm Norton, listen, if Norton's going to be out essentially two and a half months, like, you need to get something, and you can't hesitate, because you're going to be competing with other teams who probably need offensive line help as well. So I would look free agency. If there's nothing there, you scout, you look, you ask your scouts what you see and don't see, what you like and who you like to bring in. And then you go look at the trade market. You go look at who's getting cut, because cut time, listen, the rosters are pretty much going to be at 53 sooner rather than later. Go see what's available. Go see what's out there. Winston has I agree, Winston. Yeah, he has a knee injury too, but I'm just saying, exhaust all options is what I'm saying. It's Winston's right about the injury, but I'm just saying you just need bodies at this point. Like, you just need bodies. And like I say, Joe Noteboom is somebody I would call to see if Baltimore would even consider trading. I don't know. And it's a tough situation, because offensive line is the one position where there's not really many options to find like starters or like that. So it looks like Terry might have to go potentially maybe the trade route. And like I say, even with Willis, it would be injuries on injuries, but at this point, we just need bodies. And like I said, if that's the case, like, best bet if we're going to trade is to trade now before it cuts down the two, so we can trade. True. Like I say, we just need to trade something, because teams at this point, listen, we just need help. And like Winston's right. I'm agreeing with everything Winston's saying, because it's what I'm saying, but Winston's beating me to the punch because he's type. Because he's a faster typer than I'm a talker. So they say best bet if we were going to trade is to trade now before cut downs on Tuesday. So yeah, rosters are starting to get cut down, so we have to start making decisions quicker.
Yeah.
Because listen, there's going to be a lot of offensive line's one position where it's basically supply demand, where the supply is high and listen, demand is high, supply is low. And when it's like that, then it's going to be a free for all. Who gets to the door first? Who gets there first? So we'll see.
All right. So my idea is this, because I've thought about it, and I know we got Christy also. By the way, Winston, Christy, and John, I'm seeing your comments, so please know I'm not trying to ignore them. But yeah, able to come back. I would hope it would be Pokes' division, which I like how she's coming at this. My thought is this: if you could do this, Wilkinson was struggling in the tackle position.
Mm-hmm.
I would look at it and go, I'm going to do this for a short-term deal. I'm looking at Bergeron. I'm throwing him over to the right side. I'm throwing him as my right tackle. I'll put Wilkinson as my guard. And I pray to God that we could survive. Look, I'm just saying, if you had no other choices.
Right.
Because I don't like the idea of Wilkinson being a tackle when clearly you could tell he's not comfortable with that. But what I'm trying to do is, if I could just duct tape this till about that 6 to whenever Storm Norton could come back,
right,
then I could put Norton at the right tackle, put Bergeron back as the guard, and God willing, we could coast from, or at least play from there. And look, my thing is this: if McGarity don't want to do the surgery, but he plays and he ends up needing it, you're only jeopardizing yourself even longer.
Yeah.
My thing is this: do the surgery, do what you have to get better. It's like this. I didn't have a problem with McGarity coming into this season. He wasn't someone I was going, man, I'm worried about this guy. No, I actually was just like, I wanted to see how he did. I think he was going to step into this position. So with him going down, I'll get you, Ron, I promise. But it's just one of those. I just look at it and I go, can we sail the storms till about the bye week. We have the closest bye week in week 5, which now looks like a godsend to us. That might be something you want to look at if you don't go and get somebody like the guy from Baltimore that LaDarius talked about, or I think Taylor's from the Chiefs. There's some guys out there. It's just you got to understand what you're getting. You're not getting an all-pro tackle. So, but go ahead, Ron. What were you going to say, bro?
Now, the 7th rounder that we drafted, Jack Nelson,
Jack Nelson.
He did solid. He on some plays. Now, I'm not saying he was perfect. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
He did good on some plays, and some plays you be like, we know why you're a 7th rounder now. You know what I mean? But when he lost, he did not really lose big. Let me say that. Okay.
Here's my thing. Let me give you a response to that. You're right. He didn't. But you're asking a 7th round draft pick to basically step all the way up to being a starter and going against number ones and you have him basically your last line of the defense for Michael Penix's blind side.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah. Okay.
What I am saying is go get a free agent, but if that free agent don't work out, maybe you want to just ease him in there.
No, Ron, I'm actually with you on it. It's just I guess what I'm trying to do is like we're talking about playoffs. We're talking about this first 5 games.
Right.
Positive foot. So that's kind of how my mindset is. Now, look, if they decide to put Jack out there, then that means they see something in Jack that they don't see in the others. And then they're going to try to do this. All I'm saying, like LaDarius brought up about having 2, we're going to probably see another tight end close by to be chipping. Charlie Warner, that is your position now. I mean, that's going to be what Charlie Warner does. Or Simmons or whoever you want. I still don't think it's Felipe Franks. That's just me. But I know I am dissing the greatness that is Felipe Franks. But I'm sorry, F double. This isn't F Troop. I promise. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. The only problem with McGarity is that he should have had surgery originally. LaDarius said it perfectly, Winston. You're saying a lot of stuff before we can even speak ourselves. When I just read about the whole he's waiting, man, I would not wait. Especially if if anything with a foot or a knee, let me get surgery. I'll deal with everything else. But yeah, waiting, all it does is prolong it. And, you kind of want to do something right away. And I'm trying to think. So let's talk defense because, this was a big thing. Apparently the Falcons defense is Fight Club because everybody fighting. James Pierce is Brad Pitt, apparently, where he's wanting to fight everybody. Good job, James. My thing, look, I ain't got a problem with the fighting. I don't. I kind of like it. All right. I want someone to knock somebody's block off. I like the fact that Michael Penix started trying to fight with someone. My only thing is this. I need it to translate on the field. And in some cases, I saw the defense playing like they wanted to hit people. The only problem I saw is if Ulbrich is not there, that defense looked like they were all checked out. And I get that they weren't all the starters and all that. It's like this. Give me all the qualifiers. I get it. We've got to hit the ground running week 1. We can't go in there, lose to a team that only scored 6 field goals and we lose to that team. I mean, that can't happen. I mean, it did. But what are you guys thinking about the defense? What is your impressions about not just Pierce, but maybe Leonard Floyd? And just maybe who are the guys you're looking at that might be the key for our defense to turn over just a new style? What do y'all think? I mean, is it all brick style only, or what do y'all think on this? We'll start with Ron.
I'm looking for everybody to step up on the defense. I love the anger, the passion. I love it. Now, put it on the field. Take it out on Tampa Bay. Y'all doing all that fighting. I love it. I love it. Now, give it to Tampa Bay. Put it on them. No, David. In
the butt.
I love how we playing with passion, anger. I love it. Now, just don't fight your teammates. Fight other teams too. Well, I don't mean like fighting like that, but show them you're not no pushover no more. Our defense, a lot of people in the past, the media said our defense was soft in the past 7 years. Okay, how y'all like us now? Y'all created the monsters. Y'all say James Pierce Jr. should never been drafted in the first round. So he feels some type of way. Now y'all complaining, oh, he doing too much. Which one is it? You cannot have both. You cannot have both. You cannot have your cake and ice cream. So now he getting at everybody, and y'all complaining. That's all I got.
There you go. All right, LaDarius, what say you, man, about the defense and everything?
Look, it's a more renewed confidence in what we have. I think there's more optimism than the season past about our defense. And like you say, I like to see more aggression, like on the field than off of it. Ideally, all I can say is that there's a renewed sense of optimism. Jeff Ulbrich, familiar face of the organization. We go out, we draft 2 excellent edge rushers. We go out and just, like I said, I guess the best way to say is that it feels different. And the fact of the matter is that this defense doesn't have to be an elite defense, because I feel that the offensive line, the offense in general, is good enough, even with the injuries to the offensive line, which is, clearly it's a cause for concern. I think if you look at, like, look at we got Xavier Watts, the safety from Notre Dame, Billy Bowman, safety from Oklahoma. Like, we went all in and addressed the defense. It was a flaring issue, and we went out and got 2 great players to get to the quarterback, 2 great safeties, who can learn from Jesse Bates and could potentially be a part of this defense in certain packages. So really, I don't know the best way to say it, to feel that if we can just be that top 15 defense, if we can get to the quarterback, if we can play sound defense in our pass game. I know it sounds basic and it doesn't sound, fancy, but the fact of the matter is that there's this confidence that I have about this defense than in seasons past. Because it's bringing back a guy like Jeff Ulbrich, a guy who actually has experience. Because we know what happened when the other guy, Raheem's buddy, took the job. And Jimothy Aloysius Maleficent Lake took the job. It's like, we saw how that worked out. And you're bringing a guy, familiar face, who understands defense, worked with the great defense, the Jets, understands what it takes to win. So I, for one, am very optimistic. This is a top 15 defense. This is a playoff team for sure, without question.
All right. Okay. So my thought, just saw something popped up about Caleb McGarity talking about the surgery thing. So yeah, it looking like he is going to get surgery, and it possibly Monday is what they're saying. Yeah, the defense. Here's what I'm going to say. It has to get better than what it was. All right, and I was very happy to see the defense being played by guys that are actually hitting. I like that they were tight against receivers. I like seeing James Pierce Jr. causing turnovers. It's like there are things I liked. Now I need to see it the big season. All right, that whistle hits, you got to see it. And I don't want to be the guy that's like saying this defense is going to be top 5. We got, we're this, we're that. No, there's nothing that we haven't done anything. Got to see it. I got to see how we actually adapt and how does Albrecht attack other teams. The other thing is I think a lot of people are some people are not. It's like this. I go off on Torrey Anderson about the injury. Javon Walker.
Jalen.
Keeping him out. And look, someone was getting mad at Raheem for keeping people out. Look, Raheem, if you say you're hurt, you're going to go into the bubble wrap protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be checked for dust mites and make sure that you don't get taken out. Shots. What are you saying? I'm sending shots at you for no reason. You good?
No, you said no. I rank the top 50. I don't rank defense, so I just gave it top 15. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, no. I was talking about other people on their shows.
I'm other people. And
stop it. You're the one.
I'm other people. No, it's okay.
Oh,
it's
stop it. D-line needs to. Mr. Mike O'Donnell, John Brooks is in the house saying the D-line needs 2 plays with more heart. And CDouble, you're breaking up. Yeah, I'm trying to get everything settled. So
no, John, we're not breaking up. It's a little argument. Oh, he meant your mic.
Oh.
Sorry.
Look, sorry. It's normal. Me and LaDarius always have these arguments. We still love each other at the end of this thing, okay? We're not like the guy from Dark State who's about booty. But anyway.
Yeah. Who doesn't know what the word subtlety means?
I still can't
from behind. I'm like, sir, you can't be saying that stuff. There's kids watching this show.
This is the kid show.
We're going to come from behind. I'm like, whoa. Now the kids got to watch.
We're going to go up the butt. Hey.
The kid's back to watching Bluey. It's going to be Bluey on Tuesday nights now.
Lord, have mercy.
Anyway, but yeah, so see this defense. Xavier Watt is intriguing to me. So is Billy Bowman, but also Helms. The first 2 games, he was everywhere. He was hitting anything that moved, and I really like that. I'm intrigued, and like I said, I am intrigued. I feel like there's a competency with Albrecht that we didn't have with Lake.
All right.
And that's come on, it's like a clown car versus a sports car. It's
right.
We know it's that different. But yeah, the only question I have is the cornerback opposite AJ Terrell.
Right.
And I kind of am hoping it is going to be CJ Henderson. I think that'd be really cool if we could get more playing time and everything.
Yeah.
But I guess, the next thing we're going to talk about in this football landscape, Micah Parsons. And making eyes at the Falcons, I guess, if that's what people were talking about.
The room where I
Ron
cannot
sent
say
a clip about it. Look, if you
I
let's just
cannot
put it this
say
way.
rumor.
Jerry Jones. You really can't say rumor if
What? I cannot
batting
say
his own
rumor because he did like this at the game. When I guess a Falcons fan was like, "Hey, what do you think about the Falcons?" He was like, they kept on eating nachos. So I like, yeah. Jerry Jones, if you want to go down this route, hey, Jerry, I know you're old and see now, by now, but I would take him. I would trade my mama with
all right,
it too.
So let's ask the question. I mean, all right. Ron's about to trade. Folks, this is the part where Ron is going to trade his entire family for football players. We'll have to explain to him it doesn't work that way, but still, But look, so Micah Parsons, look, how does this end? Do we really see Micah going somewhere else? Or I think he'll end up signing with Dallas. That's just me. But what do you guys think? Ron, then
I could see him go somewhere else. Will your owner take shots at you being disrespectful to you and you put everything on the line when you play for his team and he don't respect that? Yeah, I would not want to play for you either. Now, where it happened, that the catcher. Now, rumor is Jerry Jones toned down a draft picks from the Patriots.
Oh, okay.
And this was like a lot of good draft picks, like 2 first round, 2 seconds, I think, and maybe 2/3, what I was told. Now, I could see Jerry Jones be like, you know what? It is what it is. I would trade him. But I can see Jerry Jones being stubborn and be like, Michael Parsons not going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will you just let the man walk and not get nothing for him? No, he not happy there no more. Now, if you let the man walk, you be looking dumb at the end because you could have got something for him. But that's how I said. Just my opinion.
Okay. So let's go to LaDarius. What say you, man? What about Micah Parsons? Is this something that John,
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at.
Mr. Michael Donald here, John Brooks, is chiming in about how he traded grandma for Parsons.
I'm trading
Reese's candy bars
for Parsons, baby. A-Town down. Baby. I keep forgetting.
So, hey. He said, I'm trading a VC candy bar and a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, we're going to come in with the beat. I'm trading a Reese's candy bar, Dr. Pepper. Michael,
you got some left at Kathy?
All pro linebacker in the ATL. Keep forgetting. Jerry owns the Cowboy. Okay, we're done. All right, we're done. All right.
We'll even give Jerry some hard candy so he can have with it.
I think, listen, that man might choke to death. Let's not do that. Listen, get that salt peppermint and he'll be all right. Let's not get that man.
I'm dead.
Here's the butterscotch, man. If it's not the soft kind from Werther's, that man is. Listen, that's why they made the soft kind now. That's soft caramel. There's a reason for it.
It's a butterscotch.
But listen. While your grandma or granddaddy didn't eat it, they gave it to us for a reason.
Right.
They couldn't eat it, so they gave us that hard candy. But listen, they got some soft, but they got some candy bars or somewhere they stash it because they can eat it. So think about it. They gave us the hard candy for a reason.
We had to work for that candy.
I got some cinnamon discs. I got some. Like they gave it all to you.
Right.
Like, oh, Grandma, won't you have one? No, baby, I'm fine. There's a reason. Listen, I'm just saying. Dr. Pepper. Now we're back. All right. So, can I have Roxanne send chicken tendies? No, see, Jerry Joe might choke on them tendies too. We're not doing that.
Ouch.
Dang.
Oh, wait, I can sing it as Michael McDonald. Maybe it'll sound better. Can I have Roxanne send them chicken tenders, Jerry Parsons, baby? Don't forget that dipping sauce. Hey, you put that zesty hot stuff away. I got heartburn, baby. Okay. Keep that Nashville hot to yourself. Why is it Nashville hot? Why isn't it? Why can't we call it California hot? Because it's hotter in California than Nashville. Yeah. Okay, we're done. We're back. We're focused.
Hello, good sirs.
Hello, Craig. Craig the wise man. Thank you. So, apologies. Now we're going to be back to being focused. I won't disrupt the show anymore.
Oh, stop. Go ahead. You're speaking. I was just excited about Craig.
But listen, anytime John makes a comment, now I have to sing it in Michael McDonald. Now that's so, John. I suggest you might want to keep the comments to a minimum unless you want me to sing. Yeah. Chicken tendies, baby.
Back to this.
2 for $10 at Zaxby's. Okay, no, we're done. All right, we're back. We're focused.
And in the next segment, we're going to be singing for Nia Jax's hand in marriage.
We ain't getting no younger. I know one else. Let's get married. Bum, bum, bum. Oh no. Okay, we're back. We're focused. I see Ron. I don't know if Ron's listening to me or not. I think Ron's checked out. Now,
Ron's actually stalking Nia Jax too. You don't know.
We messing with the same girl. Talking around the same girl.
We're messing with the tests.
Oh
my God.
It's gonna burn for me to say this because it's coming from. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, back. We're focused. I'll answer your question.
Yeah.
I think one of two things is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think Micah Parsons will miss the start of the regular season. He'll miss some. We could get a situation similar to Le'Veon Bell when we was with the Steelers, where you sit out a couple of games because of a contract issue. And listen, Chris, this is a wild. I don't know what you're talking about, Christy. This show's a wild and a mission. Popcorn, baby. Yeah. We got to get out of here, Daddy. We got to go. They're booing us down. Okay. All right. We're back. Yeah. Oh, no. USA. Oh, Daddy, we got to go. No, don't play that song anymore. No, I don't want to hear it. Okay. So, like I said, I think that's one potential situation that could take place. I think Micah sits out because here's the thing. If I ask you, because this situation, we heard about this with Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett eventually got a deal. I always ask, what are teams willing to give up and be willing to pay? Because if you trade for him, that obviously means you want to give him an extension. What's the value? Because the market for him, honestly, is that TJ Watt, Myles Garrett sort of market, like a 3 to 4 year, like a 3 year, maybe $100 million. That's sort of the marketplace. The question is, If you're a team, you have to do two things. You have to give up essentially picks. Maybe Dallas wants a starter or two, and then you have to pay him. And that's where. And Christy said that John broke Micah Bird. Micah said he wouldn't mind being a dirty bird. Yeah.
Or he just come out saying, "Hey, I want to go to Atlanta and nobody else."
Cause welcome to Atlanta where the players play. We play football every Sunday afternoon.
Lord.
I think we got a Sunday night game too. Maybe Monday night. I think we play on Thursdays as well. Yeah.
Miss Monica,
We don't play on Wednesdays because that's when I gotta go to bingo. Yeah. Okay. That's when it's wing. That's when it's wing Wednesday down at the club. Yeah. Okay. Now. All right, we're okay. John's not impressed. Listen, John's not impressed. I think Ron's not impressed. John and Ron aren't impressed. I didn't see John comment anything, so I'll stay focused.
John's scared now. He's asking,
John,
McDonald's.
John, if you're afraid, type SOS, baby. Yeah. We doesn't mean you're gonna get saved, but it means someone's gonna sing like this. Yeah. Okay.
Look, my thought is this: when I think of the whole opportunity, like LaDarius was talking about, I wanted to ask you before you finish.
I guess I got my mic cut off by the man. Yeah.
Well, no. You mentioned
CDouble, the man's bringing me down. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's something when you said it. It kind of
focus, CDouble. For God's sake, you're doing a show. Focus, Jesus.
So, Le'Veon Bell, when he did this holdout, it was just about the money and everything.
Yeah.
You're saying he could do the same thing, but my question is this: the rights is still with Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still got a year.
He's officially on his rookie deal, so he's still there. See, the issue is why, as you notice with some contracts, always look like the year before for rookies start getting paid, because you want to get a deal done for rookie deal before, because if you miss the mark, you're probably paying more. If you can get a good deal, like case in point, like in 2 seasons or so, look out for a contract for Bo Nix and for like Jaden Daniels. Look for Denver and Washington. Look to get something done soon. Because if they keep playing at the level they're playing at now, the market is going to be absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
Because especially for the quarter position where you want to get. So imagine, because essentially what's going to happen is, listen, guys like Micah, Myles Garrett, and TJ Watt, they command and demand quarterback level money because they're defensive player of the years. They're all pros. That's not the issue. The issue is the longer this goes, that's more money being added.
Right.
And so, but the only other option, because like to me, trading a guy like Micah, if I'll put it like this, if you're the other 31 teams, what are you willing to trade? Here's the thing. It's a two-parter. What are you willing to trade? That's awesome, Christy. Yeah. What are you willing to trade? And because the thing is, it's a two-parter. Like I said, what are you going to trade for him? And your team would have to be someone to negotiation with the agent to get something done, knowing when the trade is completed. So the question is, what are you willing to give up for Micah? And what would the price tag be? That's a two-part question. Because here's the issue with Dallas. You paid Dak. You paid CD. It's the issue with Cincinnati. If you look at it, they pay the offensive guys.
Yeah.
But you're not going to pay your best defensive player. That's literally the situation the Bengals are in right now.
So,
but here's the difference. They had a choice between T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson. They had a choice. Let's not make it seem like they didn't have a choice. They chose T. Higgins.
Right.
And while the offense is going to be putting up 40, that defense is going to be putting up 50. And because there's a reason why they're looking to trade Trey Hendrickson, because ain't no money left in this Bengals organization, they made a business decision, and Jerry's to that level where we don't know if Trey Hendrickson is going to be on the field week 1.
Right.
He doesn't want to play under his deal.
So
Go ahead, Ron, about the question. I apologize. Go ahead.
Can we agree he a top 5 pass rush?
Yeah, I can make the argument top 3. Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
So something like that will like him. He don't grow on trees.
Correct.
So that come every 4 years?
Yeah, if that, to me, I'd argue even longer from a generational standpoint.
From a generation standpoint.
Right.
So if you betray him, you gotta give up everything, all your draft picks. You got all your next year and a year after that, you gotta give it up. The top 5 in the NFL.
Oh, okay, John. Whatever. 7 out of 10. Whatever. I'm sorry, Ron. Well, guess what, John? You're gonna get more of this. So next time you come in, it's gonna be
top 5 in the NFL. So you gotta give up everything to get him, and you got to pay him. A sticky situation though. You give up all your draft picks and you pay him.
There you go. In that
40-50 million a year.
Is he worth the question has to then go, is he worth the investment?
Yes.
Do you F them picks and do you go and like if it's the Falcons, the deal's gonna have to be 2 years worth of picks.
Right.
And possibly some key players that you would have to trade.
Correct.
And my question to you is this, I'll throw it out there. If we were to have, this is just a fictitious, thing that we're talking. Would you be willing to look at possibly trading Javion Walker?
No.
And then a couple other picks, as well as maybe, Kyle Pitts or, Tyler Algier for Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Now, Kyle Pitts, yes. Man, in fact, I really go get the moving truck myself.
Go ahead.
And I think to me it's this. If you offer a deal involving Kyle Pitts and Tyler Algier, because if you look at Dallas could use another tight end. They have Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right.
And the run, listen, I tell people, can you name a Dallas Cowboys running back? Like look at the roster. Like if they get Tyler Algier, he's RB1.
Right.
He's RB1. So if
I can name one running back they got came from, I think, Texas, Blue.
Yeah, Jaden Blue. Yeah.
Yeah, he's nice.
And so you're in a position where if you're a franchise, and that's why I say this is a 2-part question.
Yeah.
A, are you willing to part? What are you willing to part with? And C, what are you willing to give them? Because those negotiations start once just like the situation with Cincinnati. See, teams who are looking to trade Trey Hendrickson, they're looking at like, what are we willing to give up? And what are we willing to pay Trey? Because here's the reality. Michael Parsons was like 26 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like respectfully, how old is Trey Hendrickson? Like this is the reality.
What?
You would probably get more for Michael Parsons, hands down, no questions asked.
What?
So when teams come up, I want to get the guy. There's logistics to this because are you willing to? Because you hear Atlanta get talked about because if you throw in a name like Kyle Pitts, you throw in Tyler Algier. Well, Dallas could use another tight end, and it wouldn't hurt to have a guy like Tyler Algier, a former 1,000-yard rusher and former starter, as well. That would intrigue Dallas.
That O-line too.
Yeah, and so you could potentially get something. Like teams, if you look at, I say, well, what would Dallas be looking for? Well, they'd be looking for a running back. So if your team is looking for a running back and you have the picks and you have maybe some defensive pieces you're willing to move,
Right.
you'd consider it. Because to me, it's going to be one of two options. Micah holds out, and the longer Micah holds out, that's more money that Jerry has to give up. Because
Right.
I can't picture a scenario where Micah Parsons gets traded. But here's the reality. As long as this goes, like for Jerry has to understand, you are essentially doing what the Cincinnati Bengals did.
Mm-hmm.
You paid your quarterback, you paid your number one receiver, and you traded for a number two receiver in George Pickens.
Mm-hmm. And that y'all pay him at the end of this.
So here's the thing. Cincinnati painted themselves in the corner
Mm-hmm.
because listen, let's be super clear. They made a decision between T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, that was a slap in the face to Trey. I'm not saying T. Higgins is not a terrible receiver, but he's a wide receiver too. And you essentially during there gave him wide receiver one type money. He could have went anywhere else and left there. Like there's 31 other teams. T. Higgins could have went somewhere else and got a bigger payday for at least over half the teams. Because here's the thing. Because right now there are teams that need a wide receiver one. And there were teams like the Patriots came to mind before they got into the Stephon Diggs business.
Yeah.
Your teams around the league that would have been willing to pay T. Higgins. You could have traded T. Higgins and got value back. And then you have that extra money to give to Trey Hendrickson. But for Dallas, this is not the first time Dallas has been in cap purgatory. Because remember, they gave up essentially Amari Cooper for a bag of Frito-Lay, Dorito. They gave him up for basically them. They gave him up for some dip and some Fritos and a blueberry muffin and maybe a Gatorade.
Hold on. Not only that, then the team that got Amari Cooper traded him for a third-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, trade him to Buffalo, and it's like, wait, how do you do that? It's like, it's called maybe Jerry's not a good general manager. And we started to think about that. Like Jerry, how do you literally get a 6th-round pick? And Jerry, the team that you gave it, the Cleveland Browns, Buffalo said, we'll give you a third. And by the way, and you know why they're enjoying that third round? You know why they can enjoy it? By the way, Amari Cooper is no longer on the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, Jerry, Cleveland said, we'll give you a 6 or 7 because they knew they could get more.
Mm-hmm.
And see, Jerry Jones, the general manager, has cost, not Jerry Jones, the owner, Jerry Jones, the general manager, has been the issue, not the owner. Because listen, hire a general manager. It helps. Because listen, the Yankees were great. When George Steinbrenner realized, when the teams, why are we doing great? They got Brian Cashman. They hired a general manager. Jerry, it's your team, my guy. I don't tell grown folks what to do with their stuff. What I'm telling you is this. You are in the way, not as the owner, but as the general manager. Because historically, when it came to the offensive line, you drafted correctly. You've got that right. It's the whole signing people that you dropped the ball because now you're essentially committed to Dak, and you've always got a yearly restricted contract with Dak, and now you sign CD. At some point, you got to pay George Pickens. Your offensive line is not ideal, and you obviously probably are the best defensive player on your team is willing to sit out until you get a deal done. Here's the reality. That's why I tell people, listen, when you compare the Dallas Cowboys to the Cincinnati Bengals, it's not that far off. Think about it. 2 good quarterbacks, 2 good receivers, like Dak. Listen.
Sorry, Ron got me. I was doing good. Go ahead.
I knew I was going to get Ron. That's why I said it. But here's the thing. They both paid their quarterbacks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You got Ron good, man. He's needing breathing treatments after this.
I was gonna say, 2 quarterbacks they signed. No, I'm gonna say 2 good quarterbacks. I want to see the reaction. As someone, as a writer, I had to throw in an extra word in there. So if you look at their situations, it's like this. They both signed their quarterback. They both signed their, they signed their top receiver to big money. They either paid or traded for a number 2 receiver, and their best defensive player is essentially may not play week 1. So I'm saying Dallas's defense may be slightly better, and I don't know what that's saying because they got cooked by the Packers in the playoff. So you can take that as you will. They got cooked by Jordan Love, so you guys take that. So the fact of the matter is, if you want a guy like Micah Parsons, what are you willing to trade, and are you willing to pay for his demands? Because I guarantee you, that's why Cleveland re-signed Myles Garrett, because they knew no team was willing to give up half, the demands that the Browns wanted for him in return. And they said, well, we'll just pay him, because they know that defense would be terrible without Myles Garrett, who's earned the right to get paid. And that's the situation with like Micah Parsons. No matter how people may feel about him, he deserves to be paid in the same category as a TJ Watt and a Myles Garrett. It's just Jerry, the general manager, doesn't know what he's doing. And the longer this goes, yesterday's price is not today's price. That's what's going to happen to Jerry. Every day this goes on, like, listen, that talk to Atlanta, people are like, oh, that's hyperbole. No. If Terry Fontenot sniffs around and makes the right package and finds the money, because keyword, you got to find the money to pay Micah, there are teams willing to trade and give up 2 years worth of picks, a starter or 2, for Micah Parsons, and will give him the contract extension that he warrants. So Jerry keeps messing around. Either you figure it out, or you're going to lose your best defensive player, Jerry. And listen, they're going to run you. Listen, it's your team. They're going to make you sell your own team that you had from before, because you don't get it. So back to you in the studio.
My God.
And Dak Prescott's a good quarterback.
Ron's reaction to the Burrow and Dak Prescott. And look, I love Joe Burrow. Quarterback season 2. Go watch it. The man is a badass, okay? Love him. And you're right about T. Higgins. He could have made any money he wanted as a number 1. Chose to stay with his guy Burrow and Chase. We've seen teams build around their offense, and you always know what's going to happen. Heck, they drafted the guy, and he don't want to play. Or, he held out for longer than any of the players. So, and the sad part is I would actually give the Bengals an edge because I trust their quarterback more.
Yeah.
Even with them playing in a hard division that they play in. I want to get back to the Falcons for a minute because, we talked about the Caleb McGarity injury, but we haven't really looked at our players. Mooney's actually not 100%. All right? And Ray, not Mookie, but Ray, McLeod, he's dinged up. And look, we've talked about Kyle Pitts, but I think Drake London is going to have a good year.
Yeah.
But now I start thinking about this team and the offense. We're gonna have to get creative on offense because I don't think we're gonna be as this dominant throwing the ball down the field as what people want us to believe we are. What are y'all's concerns? Is it receiver? Is it maybe the running game? Is it possibly the quarterback? I mean, this can go over everything, but Ron, we'll start with you, brother.
I think our wide receiver room, I think we got players that come in there and take over. If we just gotta give them a chance. Like, just because they get hit, Raheem, you don't got to pull them out for 8 years, Raheem. Like you did Casey Washington last year.
Hey, he was out because that boy was seeing
Right.
they did a zoom in and you saw Tweety Bird hanging around him.
But the whole year,
I know.
and that's what I mean. Like I think, in my opinion, we got other wide receivers to do the job that our wide Ray will be doing. You see what I'm saying? They give them a chance.
Okay.
In my opinion, the wide out for you.
All right. What about you, LaDarius? What's are there concerns or points that this team maybe not be as stocked up as we thought they were?
I think what I'm looking forward to is to see what Zach Robinson has for Michael Penix. And I said this earlier in the show because now he has a full year. Because from the sample size that we saw, there were some things that were very positive. We saw we saw the big arm, we saw his mobility, and we saw what Zach Robinson can do with the quarter. We saw what he can do. And given the start with Kirk Cousins, Kurt great clip cut Cousins, what we saw, he did with what he could do under Kirk Cousins being hurt.
Mm-hmm.
My question is going to be, I don't think we're going to be as running. I think we're going to throw it, but it's all about the big play. I think you're going to utilize Bijan in the passing game for deep plays with the Drakes. And hopefully when Mooney gets healthy and Ray gets healthy, I think that's where the bread and butter is, because Bijan is still going to be the same guy as a versatile weapon in the backfield. He's going to be just as vertical in the passing game as he's going to run it as he's in the run game.
Right.
Obviously, the offensive line is a concern, but I trust that Zach Robinson, because we saw what he did with Kurt. We tried to get the ball out of Kurt's hands fast. I think we're going to see that with Michael Penix. Get the ball out of his hands fast. And I think that's what we're going to see in this offense. And then, like I said, I think if Kyle Pitts is going to be the X factor, if Kyle Pitts could kind of low-key be learn to block. Like, I'm not saying like I can go out there and do it today, but what I'm saying is that if Kyle Pitts becomes the team player, willing to block, because the offensive line, you're going to need extra help. You're going to need extra bodies on that line, because let's face the reality, the guys next to you, and it's going to be next to you, maybe. Listen, it's going to be a struggle. But I'm optimistic still. I still believe in the top, being a top 5 offense. But I think it's going to be done in a different way. I think it's all about using Penix and his big arm for the big plays. And Bijan's going to be a part of that. And as long as you have Bijan Robinson in the backfield, you're okay. It's going to be, to me, I get that like Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley vibes. Where look how Jalen Hurts was great because he utilized the play with Saquon. And then you use it to A.J. Brown, you use it to Devontae Smith. Utilize your big-time weapons. And I think it's going to be no different for the Falcons entering this season, in my opinion. Like the offensive line issue, I hope will get addressed. But I'm still optimistic to see what Zach Robinson does with Michael Penix with the full season. And like you said, we might have to get creative. So that's why I say the big play might be the huge factor here. So, and then Penix can run it. So Zach Robinson has options to do offensively. Just Raheem, just let Zach cook. You just sit back and do absolutely nothing. Let him do the offense, and we'll be okay. Yeah.
It's a beautiful halo board. Look, my thinking is I don't know what Michael Penix is. And I'm, as a Falcon fan, I have no problem saying that because it's not disrespect. It's not something where you're saying you don't believe in him. but this is his first full year. This is a year where people are going to take apart that 3-game piece that he had and figure what does he do well, what he doesn't do. All right, these NFL defensive coordinators aren't, they're not, not most of them are not the dumbest people. They actually, study this stuff. They're not all, TJ Yates. So, but what I look at with this team is, can we find our identity? And when I finally get past that one blocker, that one person that takes him down, because he had a couple of runs that if one guy didn't get lucky by tripping him up, he's gone. And those are those plays we talk about. And I just think Bijan can really he's going to be the straw that stirs the drink. So Michael his responsibility is, I can't get them to try to do a big box against us. So I want to see this team play well. I want to see some creativity. I think the tight end position, there are some talent there, and I will say, Kyle can play when he's engaged, but I'm looking more like at the other guys. If you have Kyle on, flexed out, and you can have, Warner and maybe Simon out there, getting, making sure and helping the right tackle out, you may have some good opportunities there. I think the Falcons against Tampa Bay, we'll talk about it on the next show where we actually are going to, really get into it. I know LaDarius will probably have a video doing his breakdown of what both teams to expect from, but LaDarius definitely will be running point with it here on our show where, look, we're going to talk about the games. We'll talk about the games that we're looking forward to week 1. That will be, we're going to discuss it, but our goal is to either do it on Thursday or Friday, depending on schedule. So once me and LaDarius and Ron can talk, and we're going to get all that out. So we'll get that done. Me and LaDarius will be doing a wrestling show. We were hoping to do it today, but honestly, the football talk took it over, and we don't mind because we want to actually talk in detail about the wrestling. We came off of Evolution, one of the best women's show ever. We AAA Mexico, where they did a phenomenal job. Probably the greatest mismatch ever, Microman versus Omos, that I want to see again. And yes, I said that right. But yeah, we'll talk. Face turn came. I thought it was done great, but maybe a couple of things to talk about with that. And Brock Lesnar being back of all things. So who knew? We took a little time off and all this happened. So LaDarius, I know you're on mute, but if you like, what is with the WWE and with the wrestling, what was the biggest surprise to you that happened to right now? I mean, was it the Seth Rollins cash in? Was it the Brock Lesnar coming back? I mean, what was so far of everything that we've seen so far?
To me, easy for me to say, Seth, I'm wearing his wife's shirt, the man, so I could go that route. Craig, don't you dare. Craig, you'll get that show in 2026, maybe 2027, maybe you'll get that full age. Craig,
we would do an AEW. The problem is we don't have 12 hours to discuss every little minute match that we don't understand.
Listen, if the women are involved, then I'm not interested. Then we'll put it that way. If Tony Storm's not involved, then I'm not involved. But to me, the biggest is the Brock Lesnar thing, because I don't think you needed Brock Lesnar. You did not need to bring him back. And they would say oh, John Cena said, I didn't say that. And Because remember, people like, oh, John Cena reportedly requested Brock. And I'm like, I find that hard to believe. As great of a rivalry as Brock and Cena's had better rivalries. Okay, if you're gonna bring anybody back, you could have like somehow, some way, you could have brought back Adam Copeland. That would have been better. They had a legitimately great rivalry.
I can't argue that name. I can't argue that.
It was unnecessary. Because like I had when I did my show, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I had Sarah Martin. We were talking about that, and like she said something that made a whole lot of sense. See, what's happening is that you're setting up the fans. For every PLE, there's supposed to be like a big bang finish. You don't need that. You can do simplistic and end it. Like end with the champion or end with ever winning. Just like with Heat Wave tonight. It doesn't have to be like a big finish. You just want to see a great main event. You want to see a great card from top to bottom. And to me, to end the show with Brock, because see, that moment should have been Cena's. Because listen, folks, we're down to, I believe, 10 days, 10 tour days, appearances for John Cena. And we're going to waste that on Brock Lesnar, who, by the way, ain't going to show up on a PLE till next month, mid-September. What are we doing? Like, and then he's gonna fight WrestlePalooza. Like, don't get me started on that. WrestlePalooza is the wrestling version of Lollapalooza. Okay, so listen, I was on. Will there be music? Lollapalooza had music. So is Jelly Roll gonna come back? Are you gonna get who you gonna get back? Hardy? Like who you gonna bring back? Like, I
mean, I would request Jelly Roll because now he's an official legend of wrestling. I deemed him such.
Good. Listen, who like WrestlePalooza? There had to be better names. All right, hey, let's go to WrestlePalooza. What the hell are you talking about? What the hell is WrestlePalooza? Like Lollapalooza was a concert festival, so people were like, "Don't get me started. Hey, we're gonna go to WrestlePalooza." No, Levesque. No. Anyway. And then Craig says, I want to see Joe Hendry show up and mess up Dark State. You know, I want to see that guy from Dark State not say anything, listen, it's gonna be on Peacock too. Oh man. We're gonna wrestle. We're gonna
win the belts and put them up our butts. What?
We're gonna bring you down. We're gonna bring you. We're gonna come up from behind on the cock. It's like, wait, you can't say that.
What?
No Diddy.
No Diddy. No. I'm bringing back. No, see, Ron. No, there was a guy like on NXT. He says some things like, "I'm gonna come from like behind." Listen, the guy just says things that he had no business saying on television.
Let's do this right. There's a 4-man group called Dark State. 3 of the 4 are black. 1 white guy. And of course the white guy's a little off kilter. And the white guy has been obsessed with butts lately.
So basically they're the wrestling version of All for One is what you're basically saying.
Yeah.
And I swear by the moon. Yeah, so it's them. Like, so basically when he John, wait, speaking of which, like, listen, speaking of singers, like John B's a great singer.
Look, the best line when one guy said, "We can't take you anywhere."
It's like, man, you can't keep saying stuff like that. That's what you hear in the background. Like, man, you can't.
I don't know which one was it, what Booker T said in WCW or what I just heard.
Listen, probably what I said is worse. Because listen, when Booker said it, see, Booker was like, "We're coming for the gold." Like it was about championship. See, I'm not defending Booker saying it. I'm not defending Booker saying it.
Yeah, go ahead.
But see, to me, what made that clip, not just when he said it, it was the reaction of everybody else in the room. Because like
Sherry's
you can see, like
response,
Sherry was trying to be professional. Mean Gene was trying to be professional. Stevie Ray was like, they didn't put the camera on him because that man must have broke. It's like,
Booker T said, at this moment, I knew I fucked up.
And
Yeah.
Here's the ironic part. He said that word, and then Vince McMahon told him that word 20 years later.
Right.
Like,
He said, I know you just did not say that.
Oh,
man.
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget it. I'll never watch that one, and I just was like, did he just say what?
Because see, when you watch it back, you know what Booker said, but you watch the reaction of everybody in the room. That's what made it to me even more hilarious, because they were like, I don't think you were supposed to say that.
Right.
And you could tell that wasn't in the script. Like, you could tell what's in the script, because nobody would have been surprised. But when he said that, like, we come for the gold. So Hulk Hogan. It's like, oh no. This man.
Hold on. Ron, the best part when he said it wasn't anything. It was this exact moment.
Yeah, he went like,
Right.
and then you see Sherry being a professional, just go. Yeah,
Sherry turned into a mama. Sherry turned into a mama. She went, "It's okay, baby. It's okay.
Yeah,
don't worry. It's just your career.
Listen,
it's okay.
You know, it's a bad word, but it's okay. No one's gonna watch it. Boy, was she wrong.
Everybody watch it.
Exactly. Hey, no one's gonna watch this now. They're gonna watch it today, or they're gonna watch it for years after.
Don't worry. Many years later, you're gonna have a bunch of fans going, "We going for you!"
And now Booker runs for mayor. His opponent. Hey, listen, we going for the mayorship. Hey, Mayor Susan, we coming for you.
Oh, Booker TV like that.
Man, how did I lose the race, man? Well, first of all, you were up in the polls by 10%. When you said that, you lost by 15. You literally lost 25 points overnight. What did you do?
It be at this moment he knew.
That's gonna be on the banner. He loses. He's like, we runs for mayor. So, Mr. Huffman, we have a clip of you. And he's like, please tell me you don't have that clip.
Hold on.
Please tell me.
We have a clip. He turns into Steve Harvey.
Yeah. Did I do something wrong? Did I do something? Do. It's like, hey, you want to play the feud, little fella?
Mm-hmm.
A good strapping young buck.
He's like, is he smart? Like, oh man.
I love those shoes, Playboy. Alligator shoes. Really? You know, in fact, I was there, towel 17, 18 years ago. And then it clicks with the Oh man, Ron, I'll send you the clip with me. I sent it to CDouble. I'll send it to
Lord,
he's like, that was some priceless stuff, Ron. I died when he said,
"Oh, we got some things to talk about. We got some."
Yeah.
He's like,
I might be getting a divorce.
He's like, I always wanted to play the feud, and then you see that they pan to the wife. I've always wanted to play the feud.
Oh boy looked at her and said, "Man, why y'all tripping? You used to be good friends. Man, y'all tripping."
And then you see the husband like, "I'm sorry, what's happening?" And you see, like her husband's like, "What's happening?" He's like, "What is buying them silver, like them big belt buckles?" These are the apples. Hey, little fella, you want to play the feud? It's like this. I don't know. I can
These
watch
are the deep things we talk about.
Oh my god, folks, we're running out of show, and we'll see you next. No.
And by the way, big shout out to Naomi and Jim being pregnant. I got in an argument on Twitter because some guy was so mad about this, and I quote said, "I can't believe Jimmy and Naomi, or Jimmy is selfish to make a baby with Naomi." And I wrote back, apparently you're not in on this baby making situation.
What?
You see,
when a guy likes a woman,
love and the pudding and the... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. This is your time.
Devin, you should have went back and see.
I was looking for you, Ron. I was looking because I needed baby powder. Because that's what that moment
like
is.
that. Be like that. See, I got to go. I gotta tell you about the birds and the bees.
Can't keep his mouth on it.
And by the way, Naomi, nice butter. Go on Instagram. They are playing the video. I found someone playing the video, advertising the wrestling thing. Going, I used to only see my brother naked. Now, thanks to this app, I found me a woman, and I see her naked. It was from the Edge of Christian show. I remember that much. It's hilarious because Naomi's face and it was priceless.
They need to bring those like. They need to bring. They need to bring back the JBL and Cole show. They need to bring that back as well. You know what? No, bring back the wrestling show. I want to see more Chet Chetterman. Yeah, I want to see Chet Chetterman some more too.
Oh yeah,
because I heard Chet Chetterman. I heard when John Cena retires, so is Chet Chetterman. That's what I heard. Oh,
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry then because I think in my lifetime, I think Chet Chetterman needs to be, inducted into a Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that hair alone deserves it.
The gas station. I'm sorry.
That and the AJ Styles car salesman.
Yeah,
because no one looks sleazy.
Bro, the whole wig and the dress. I'm like,
this car right here, it gets you there.
You want to talk about production value? See, that's what WWE cared about, production value. It went away for years. They brought back the production value, but then, oh my God, get Fandango, but get these people. I want them signed. Just y'all can do at least a couple more episodes, because oh my
God, I want Fandango back and John Cena playing Chet Chetterson, so they could do.
Yeah,
I'm lonely. I need you, Susan. She left me. I'm a bum.
Excuse me. Ron doesn't know what's going on, so we need to get back.
Ron, there's this. Hold on, and not only that, it was then Southpaw Regional Wrestling. We got the greatest introduction ever to Sex Ferguson and Chad Too Bad, because oh my God, gas station sex pills and Farrah Fawcett hair.
Okay, Craig, it's JDC. Well, listen, OPP, you know me, we get it.
Yeah, hey, Craig, don't bust our balloon. We're talking facts on our end. Hey, Santino Morella shows up, and it's Santino Morella, pal.
Yeah, listen, I actually rooted for Santina Morella.
Yeah, me too. I thought Santino was hot. That's just my fault. So I thought.
Let me tell you something.
Anyway, she got some duck butter.
Oh, John Brooks, this is Dusty Rhodes, Daddy, and I want to say I'm very proud of my son, Cody Rhodes, Daddy. Oh my God. No, John, you have to come on. No, John. See, John, you're not getting away with this. You have to come on the show one week and you have to do the impression. Because see, I do the impression. Yeah. So I, and you gave me a 7 out of 10. I'll take it. I
gave you a 2.
No, Ron. You know what I'm doing, Ron? Hang on. Wait. No, go ahead. I'm just taking notes. Go ahead.
Hold on. LaDarius doing the following.
Sunday, August 24th, 2025. Ron had
King Petty.
Ron had the nerve to give me 2 out of 10.
A 2 out.
Nope. Nah, player. It's already written down. Nope.
It's written in the good book. Well, let me explain something to see that. The American Cream. I ate the pork and beans and the weenie beanies. And I fought my way all the way to the top of WCW. And I never said it properly because I can never say W right.
Oh, by the way, Baby Doll said, Daddy. Okay. We're good.
I told my son Cobos, I said, the blacker the juice, the sweeter the
I'm like, does Dusty know what he's drinking? Like, that's not always true. Like,
Hey, Dusty was what?
man, you listen, if it's cranberry juice, yeah, man. If you drinking some dark water, man, you need to go to the hospital. Water ain't supposed to look like that.
He said he from the south, way down south.
Listen, he was drinking black coal. That's what he was drinking. That man wasn't drinking no water.
Dusty Rhodes, the big man, was a ladies' man. He could get white women, black women, Latinas, Cubans. It didn't matter.
Hey,
it was a rap for Cody or Dusty. And then he made this son and named him Cody Raheem Rhodes.
Raheem? What the hell?
Yeah. He ended racism.
Ron, listen, I don't believe he did either. So, you know.
Raheem Rhodes, one of my
No, so wait a minute. So you're telling me Stardust say rape? I just find that hard to believe.
I believe it. I mean, look at him.
No, you see Stardust? No, you see Stardust? I don't believe it.
I mean,
it's all smoke and mirrors to me. That's all I gotta say.
Whoa!
Racism is out of the way. Ah!
I would love to hang out with Brandy and Cody just to hear some of the nonsense they say. Because they are a trip together. I believe it, you know. And the other couple would be Seth and Becky, because I think they're hilarious too. So, by the way, I'm picking Blake Monroe to beat Jordan at Heatwave. You know, that match is actually kind of confusing, because in one hand, I want to say Jordan Grace is going to win because of the sensitive thing that they went through. You know, that the backstory they did. But then the other part of me is going, but Blake kind of needs to win the match. So I don't know. I know one thing. As much as I love Oba, I'm going Javon tonight. I think Javon wins it.
Oh, you're at Ron said he's done. Ron said he had enough of our foolishness. Ron said he's done.
Hey, Ron.
Ron said
we'll talk a little wrestling.
Yeah. Ron said we're done.
Yeah.
We'll okay, you know, one day, John, you'll come on the show and we'll you got to do the impression, because I think you're going to nail it. I saw your videos.
John,
I think you're going to do great.
Hit us up. We'll get you on the show, okay? And here's the deal, John. We got to tell you the backstory why we.
No, we don't have to tell you. No, the hell we do.
Yes, we do. He's family. If he gets on the show, we kind of have to.
No, this ain't Carrabba's. We're family. No, what is this? We're not eating no pasta primavera and tell this man what we said. What's the matter with you? You trying to get people set up.
Look, now you're just throwing food out there. Now you know I get hungry now.
Let's see. With John, I'm going to I like Javon. This is his moment.
Yeah.
Because I think Oba at some point, I think he gets to the main roster. This is how you do it. You pass the belt on. You give it to Javon. You give it a fresh start. And I tell people, think about this. His first championship, singles championship, because he never won I don't think was he the North American champ? I don't think he was. Javon Evans. He was never the North American champion, was he? To my knowledge.
No, he was not.
Imagine his first singles belt is being the NXT champion. It's happened. But
of all people, people though, it's not a bad idea though.
Yeah, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not. I tell people to think about that. It's like Randy Orton was a world champion at what, 23, 24? Like think about that. It's like you could tell how.
Okay, real quick. Have you ever seen anyone that special like Javon Evans?
Alex Wright. No, you're right. Yeah.
His entrance music was special. I can't lie about that. I loved his I loved his music. I thought his music was badass.
Or Norman Smiley with the big wiggle. That's also good.
I never understood why that man never got to go against Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship. I thought that was the biggest crime in our lifetime.
We want to see the big wiggle in the big match. It
needed to look. The man made hardcore wrestling an art form with his hockey sticks.
He dressed like Bret Hart did WCW. Like he wore like the hockey like shirt. I'm like I'm like, is this Norman Smiley or Gordie Howe? I don't know.
God damn.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you who don't put a belt on? That Bill Goldberg.
Yeah, don't put it on Goldberg. Goldberg sucks.
You know, listen, you know who cut him off on Saturday Main Event? It was me, eh?
Brett, we all know.
You know, the show was close to Canada, eh? I made a few phone calls, eh? I said, hey, you got to shut him down, eh?
All right. The best, guys, you come at me on this one. But we must protect Chelsea Green and Ethan Page at all costs. They are the Canadian duo I need in my lifetime. I'm sorry, but they are hilarious. Don't put over. That's right. Hey, they would never do that to John Cena. Yeah, because you're not John Cena, pal. They would never do that to Taker. Exactly. You're not Taker. Bret Hart's in the backdrop. You're not neither. You suck.
Yeah, you're not good either, eh? Like, whoa, you son of a whoa. Hey, my wife is black. I can say these things. Wait, no, you can't. No, Bret, you can't.
Yeah, homeboy gets mad. Hey, you're using my material.
You see Cody? Whoa.
Cody has to walk up to everyone. Stop using butts.
Yeah, let me tell you something, you hoser.
I'm putting it up your butt. Whoa, pal. Whoa.
Hey, then the guy from Dark State, was that his line?
He's like, I hate all y'all. I hate all y'all. And what was it? It just cracks me up when you see some of this stuff, what they're doing. But so, oh God, Naomi gets pregnant. Now they are the women's storylines. I feel are definitely now in the drag spot because you are telling one story with Rhea and Io, which I love it. It's the you can't beat me. But I'm also wanting to go, Rhea, you are the most dominant woman. You need to get back to that. And I don't feel there's anyone trying to help in that spot to bring that out. Then you have Asuka and possible Io. You know, we never got to see them wrestle each other. So, I mean, I'm kind of intrigued by that. You still have Stephanie Vacour. That's just Raw. SmackDown is I feel bleak at times. I mean, I love Chelsea. I think Chelsea is doing the best work she could do.
Mm-hmm.
And now being involved with Charlotte and Alexa is even better. But my thing is, Tiffany's out there, and it's like they're doing this. They have Nia, now Jade. And I'm kind of looking at it going, you guys, we got to do something. Are you getting concerned about the women's division is I guess what I'm asking.
No. And once again, people ain't going to like what I'm going to say. But
it's your opinion. You can say what you want, brother.
But the fact of the matter is that the Becky Lynch storylines, like when we look at, I'm looking in general. We'll get to SmackDown in a minute, but you look at Becky Lynch, the storylines that she could potentially, like, I think we're going to get a bad match with Nikki Bella at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, the way she cooked, oh man. Anyway,
God, people are still needing to.
But it's like, I have a, but you, and they go, you can't see him anymore. And they did a clip of like every time like a wrestler has come after her about John Cena. And I'm like, it's happened that much? They were doing this back in the Divas era. Like, this is not good. Like, oh no, they just started doing this. Oh no. Like AJ Lee ripped you.
Hold on, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Listen, here's how you know you got cooked. Ronda Rousey used it against you.
Dude, I remember that. And I'm going.
And the only door that you're knocking down is the John Cena's dressing. I'm like, But going back to your question, I'm not concerned. I think Raw's in a great state because Becky Lynch. People may not like Becky Lynch, but she's kind of carried with this, like having great storylines on there. And I think we could potentially get something like Bayley and Lyra could be, because I think Bayley's going back to heel Bayley.
Yeah, I want to bring that up too after you go there because
if you look at the vignettes, which are well done, it's very the way it's constructed, where she's kind of talking to herself. She's talking about it, and it feels like, oh man, she's gonna go back to happy, and it feels like, I think we're going to get heel Bayley.
Yeah,
but going back to the point, go ahead.
My problem with the whole Bayley and Lyra thing, they have made Lyra unlikable and made Bayley the sympathy character.
Well,
Well, I'm just saying what my impression is. So it's hard to now make it like I need to reverse, because in my mind, Bayley still, it's like this is where wrestling gets in your head, where you watch so much. You've never had Bayley fully say, WrestleMania, I was ready to team up with you, and I was taken out, and you replaced me with the person that took me out. And you think I'm not supposed to be upset? You didn't even check on me. They were doing stuff like that, but they never pushed it all the way through. And at first I was like, I kind of understand, because you don't want to make Lyra like a heel. But through this, you have made Lyra a heel. And it's almost like I'm going,
yeah.
If like heel Bayley is what we're talking about, I understand, but I'm still going, she doesn't need to be a heel. Because Bayley actually works the way she works.
Well, I'll put it like this.
Mm-hmm.
I understand your point.
Yeah.
But this is the counterpoint I have.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that the way I think I'm going to use Becky Lynch. Remember when Becky Lynch was supposed to be the heel?
Yes.
With the whole incident with the whole bloody face thing, and like she was supposed to be the bad guy. But crowd was cheering for her. So WWE's like, I guess we got to make her and WWE, if you think about it, they really didn't do anything.
No, if anything, they just let that go.
She was the heel, and the crowd was cheering. And for Lyra was you know what the Lyra thing reminds me of? It reminds me to a certain degree like with Roman Reigns when he first started, because Roman Reigns was fed to us as this baby face, and we weren't buying it. Yeah. So I think if Lyra, because here's the thing, they could have easily made Lyra, they could have made her a heel, but I think Lyra needs more, I don't want to say polishing, but to me, Bayley as a heel works simply because Bayley brings the experience, and she was already a heel before. And this is an element that talks about and the fact of the matter is I prefer heel Bayley, because listen, when Bayley first went heel is like, remember when she snapped on Sasha Banks, Mercedes, whatever you want to call her, like the crowd went for it. Like Bayley is layered. This is why I say people need to appreciate Becky Lynch and Bayley more. Because see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm just now starting to like Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair has been doing this how long? Like, to me, Charlotte, I never pictured Charlotte as a face in my lifetime. Because when they tried it, and I go back to Cleveland treated her like how you treat a bad act on the Apollo. The Sandman, only missing was the Sandman to drag her out of the ring.
Yeah.
That's how, and then when she got frozen in the ring when the crowd, I was like, oh no. And then, like, this is not good. And then when Tiffany Stratton, oh no, we gotta get out of here.
Charlotte, we gotta get out of here.
And let's see, John says, like, I'm over Becky Lynch. It's getting an amazing But here's the thing, and listen, I feel like I'm a Becky Lynch defender, but if you take Becky Lynch out of the picture now, how would the storylines in WWE for the women's look? What would be the biggest storyline that WWE have from a women's perspective? Like, I'm not disagreeing with John here, but this is the point I always make. There's a reason why they bank on Becky, is because, and you notice now, they're revamping with Bayley, is that the whole goal is to get Lyra to be likable because of the exact thing you said earlier. Is that the way she was being booked, and the biggest story right now is Bayley, but to me, John, the Bayley storyline, I don't think it's as big as the Becky. Like, I think right now, because Becky and Nikki Bella, we'll see where that goes. But like, the thing with Bayley is, and that's why I say Bayley the heel makes a lot of sense, because the whole goal is to get Lyra to be likable. Because let me tell you something, they don't want another Becky Lynch situation where Becky Lynch is supposed to be the heel and the crowd's cheering for her. Because let me tell you, for a great heel, like listen, for the time that John Cena was a heel, it worked until it didn't. Like, being a heel to me is harder than being a face.
Yeah, especially if you're not committed to it.
Exactly, because to be a heel, it's like Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, committed, unequivocally committed. Bayley, if you're going to make someone the heel, I'd make it Bayley, because Lyra's not quite there yet. You want to get Lyra to be liked. And then, like, what if Nikki beats Becky and then we get Lyra versus Nikki? You know what, John? I would be fine with that. Because, see, here's the thing. Becky Lynch doesn't need to have another long title reign, because what Becky does, Becky serves the purpose of arcing storylines. I go back to the fact that look when she fought Tiffany Stratton down at NXT. That made Tiffany Stratton. Look at when she fought Lyra in NXT, and then later on the main roster. But when she first fought Becky at NXT, that made Lyra. And once again, and then on the main roster, she pushed Liv Morgan when Liv Morgan beat her. Beating Becky Lynch means something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, for all those years, when Roman Reigns had that title reign, it was always important on who was going to be the person to beat Roman Reigns. And who did that person end up being? Cody Aloysius Rhodes.
Yep.
Because it matters.
Mm-hmm.
Who pinned you, especially we have this dominance. It's simply like this. I'm a Jeopardy guy. Like, I tell people, like, when Ken Jennings won all of those games, the footnote is going to be the person who beat Ken Jennings. And that lady after that, I think she won maybe a couple of games, maybe one. But the point is, when you're the person to take down the champion, it matters. When you beat Becky Lynch, it means something. And with Bayley and Lyra, and listen, I could argue, because Lyra said herself, she can't champion the championship as long as Becky. So I'm thinking we're getting, that's what I'm saying. But I argue here, but here's the point I can counter. What if you throw in Bayley into the storyline with Nikki and Lyra? So what if Nikki does beat Becky? And so now,
shot, because the stipulation was for as long as Becky was the champ.
Correct.
She can't.
So if Nikki beats Becky, you can include Bayley into the storyline. Because do you want like Nikki versus Lyra? Listen, if we're going to do a heel face, who would be the heel and who would be the face? Because from the direction it's going, you need a heel in this.
And right now, Nikki, I got to go here. Nikki's struggling to be the face.
You see the problem, right?
Yeah, she's struggling to be a face. And it's nothing against her, but everything she does, her taunts, everything, is still her heel stuff. So it's like you go, we're just supposed to love her because she's this face. And it's like, no.
Yeah. It's like, and that's why I asked the question. And Nikki would be the heel, Lyra would be the babyface. Well, see, John, if you do see, to me, Nikki could be the heel and Lyra would be the babyface. See, I'm not disagreeing with John. I'm just wrapping my head around is that I just feel like Bayley still has to be involved in this to a certain extent.
I think we're all saying the same thing actually, because my thought is the way this should work out is Bayley needs to beat Becky, and then Bayley snaps on Lyra. Being that heel persona.
At some point, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because a good heel, a very good heel, especially this go round, it's all about making sense. It's all about saying, you screwed me over. You didn't give a damn. You told me to get out of your life. And now you want me back in your world? Oh no, girl. You're not coming in my life like this.
Yeah.
And so to me, there are salvageable pieces. Like, I don't think the women's division is totally lost.
No, it's not.
It's not. But losing a persona like Naomi,
it hurts.
You can't look past that.
That's literally the equivalent of losing your best player. It's like this. It's like losing the best player, your best offensive piece, your best weapon.
Yeah.
And to the point, like John agrees. Like Bayley has to me, I think all three of us were trying to say the same thing but different ways.
Yeah.
My point is that Bayley needs to be involved. Because Bayley, to me, her heel work, because the face run, it ain't working. And listen, it could be similar to remember when Becky shook hands with Charlotte, and like, oh, things are gonna be okay. And then Charlotte beat the bejesus out of Charlotte, and Becky it was on the path of her to being the man. That's what should happen in the middle of a ring. Is that Bayley, like, hey, it's okay what happened, and then next thing you know, that's when the attack happens. She attacks Lyra, because the whole goal for me in all of this is that Lyra has to be, because it goes back to your point. The way they've been trying to do Lyra is low-key an injustice, because it feels like she's a tweener when the reality is she should just be the babyface.
And honestly, she was doing good with what was going on. But
but I lost kind of track of it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But what the problem was is it turned into they were making her more sounding bitchy about Bayley when Bayley wasn't showing signs of heel at the time. So it's like Bayley's just trying to recover from the attack. And that's where I think people, it was getting lost. And to me, that's not a Lyra issue or anything else. I personally think that's a WWE issue.
Yeah, and to the point.
They dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, and I think Lyra just should have always been the face and not give off the vibes of anything else. And that goes to writing, it goes to different elements. But but to John's point, Asuka's going to turn heel, and I read that they had to speed that up because of the Naomi stuff. So they had to, because they were actually going to let that kind of simmer, but given the news about with Naomi, they had to push that storyline up, because you could see, if you remember when Asuka kind of pushed Io, I'm like, okay, so they're moving up for what I read was true, is that they're pushing up this Asuka heel turn to face Io, and an Asuka Io feud. I'm not mad at it.
No. I think that'll be great. I think
we get Asuka being jealous of Rhea, and Asuka's then tell you, I was your friend. Yeah, and to me, that's the path we're getting on. So it wouldn't shock me that at some point the X factor in all of this is going to be Kairi Sane, because is Kairi going to? I'm assuming if Asuka's going to go heel, will Kairi go heel? Because listen, they're a team. They're the Kabuki. I'm thinking somewhere down the road, we could get the Kabuki Warriors versus Io and Rhea.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be on Raw or a PL, but that's the vibe. And like to John's point, they drop hints about, especially the treatment backstage when Rhea went out there and saved Io, and then question, where were you, Asuka? Where were you, Kyrie?
Yeah,
and it's a legitimate situation because like I say, they're definitely building toward. So it's not like it's not upsetting. It's like, okay, they're going somewhere with it, and that's cool.
Yeah, the end game now has to be, you're going to have to do an eventual match with Io and Rhea, where Rhea beats Io, because she has not had that moment now.
Right. You need to,
We got to pay that off. We got to, because but the thing, it's like, I feel like the missing piece to telling that story is truly, you need somebody to be there for her, to look at her and go, what happened to you? You know, kind of almost like a confrontational way of, do you know who you are? What happened? And basically, you know, and you know what? This may sound strange. The person I would pick to do that would be Liv.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. Yeah. I definitely would not be mad at it.
Yeah. But have somebody where you made me run for my life. I had to plot against you to destroy you. But here you're just giving her the damn lock and key about how to take you out. You know, when did you become this whip? And that's where I'm like, I feel like that's been missing in wrestling is we're not getting that connective tissue where you're giving us some good stuff, but you're not really tying it to the point we can all just go, we're seeing the story.
It's basically like loose nerves, basically.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like this. The reason why Evolution worked so well, you gave a blank canvas to these women. And they did their own thing, which isn't a bad thing. It's great. And it made you invested in them. You know, I don't think anybody was walking in going, I can't wait to see Lash Legend versus Nia Jax. But here we were watching it on NXT going, this is not a bad match.
Yeah.
So, you know, that, to me, that's an awesome representation of the women that are there. You know, that just two women that you wouldn't think could have a really good match could stand out and actually do. You know, so I don't look at them when I say I was concerned. It's more concern of a story aspect, because I feel like WWE, if they really wanted to, they could tell some really great stories.
Yeah,
with everybody, you got to put the time in it. You know, I think Rhea, the story of Rhea finally beating Io would be great. You could put it as the main title picture, because I think you could do it, or you could do it. We're going to probably have I would do a tournament, the women's tournament. And, you know, like the first match be Stephanie Vakora versus whoever. And then, you know, you have a full length, you know, show, you know, give it time that these women can do matches. Then you have the semis whenever, you know, they can even do it on WrestlePalooza if they want. But,
no, thank you.
But I'm just saying, you could do something.
Yeah. Unless there's music there, okay.
Yeah, or, you know, we could do rock and wrestling like you know, back in the old days.
Can we take a commercial? Oh, the show's almost over. Okay, we're going to take a commercial off of that.
We could have Liv jealous of Roxanne for taking over. That's a story that's going to have to get told. I can't wait for that.
It's going to get told.
Yeah,
and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be so good. It's going to be good.
And Dom is playing great. I'm actually impressed with his character work. Yeah, I thought he was really good in the AAA show and actually held his own in the main event. I really was impressed.
Right.
I did not expect him to have that kind of showing. So, And I'm still trying to figure out why Vikingo is hated by everybody. I was like, what the? This is your guy. Like they were marking out for freaking Grande Americano, for Dominic, for Dragon Lee, and then here comes Vikingo. They're like booing the hell. I'm like, even Conan. Yeah, I don't understand why they booing him. Like, thank you, Conan. For the love of God,
what are we doing here? What's going on?
I don't mind Penta and or I don't mind Andrade and Phoenix, but I'm now getting on that John Brooks train on that one because if Penta's feuding with tag teams, I kind of need to see him teaming up with his brother now. It's about time.
Right. You see, and that's another thing. If you're going to pull that Whistle Junction nonsense, just for God's sake, just put him with his brother. Just put him with his brother.
It would actually be a good idea. Yeah, it would be a good idea now because the tag team division could use another team.
Yes. Yes.
You know, the Lucha Bros. Yeah, the Lucha Bros come out. They'll sell merch. I mean, Penta's making money. Phoenix look. It's time now. They had the moment that they had. You know, each one being able to showcase what they were. Phoenix did amazing in the ladder match. If you wanted to keep Andrade with them, then just put him as a trio. That's fine. But I just think it's now time. I've been watching and I just go, dude, it's time. They ran their courses with their singles. Because now you're feuding with tag teams. That's the only reason why I say that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get Sami Zayn anymore because I was understanding it was about the world title. And then I watched SmackDown. He goes, I want that U.S. title. And I went, the fuck?
You're like, what? Like, what? And I'm like, you know what? We've jumped a whole lot of sharks here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like I was doing math. I felt like Zach Galifianakis, where the
from The Hangover with all those numbers. Yeah, it's like I'm
just like,
and it goes to because like here's the thing with Penta. Penta still has promise, but like John said,
I mean, it really became that.
Yeah, it's.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's the I don't worry about losses.
I think it's not the. Here's the thing. I'm going to cut you off. I apologize.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not the eating the loss. It's just that it's the more of the direction. Because you can lose. Because listen, I used the Seth Rollins example. Seth Rollins ate 3 consecutive losses to Cody Rhodes. And people thought it's like oh, and he has no there's no no. It's about can you absorb the losses? Seth Rollins, if there was anybody at the company at that time to absorb the losses, it was Seth Rollins. And guess who they made the inaugural world hit? Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
It's like I think sometimes when we think, oh, people taking loss after loss, because listen, Bayley said the same thing in one of her things where she kept taking loss after loss after. It doesn't mean that they're burying or doesn't mean there's no direction necessarily. I think it adds to the storyline. It adds pieces.
Yeah.
And Penta losing at some point, I just think it just leads me to believe that the frustration is going to lead to him maybe going to SmackDown or Ray Phoenix going to Raw and getting a tag team. And I think Ray Phoenix coming to Raw makes more sense because if Sami Zayn is over at SmackDown, then somebody from SmackDown has to come to Raw, I would assume.
Well, remember, LA Knight went from SmackDown to Raw. So I think that's where they tied that one up, which...
Yeah.
Well, I wish they would also do better with that. Like, okay, we're acquiring this talent.
Listen, there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But either way, Phoenix and Penta would make, however you do that, I think the frustration should lead to them being a tag team, and they be the ones to become the new tag team champions.
They would definitely be Judgment Day. That would be the way you do it.
Yes.
And I think it would be great. I mean, hell, you can even have them win the belts in like a AAA event, because of history with AAA. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like you now have a lot more. You have more avenues to play with, to kind of give people different, results. But yeah, I look at Dominic, and I just go, he's getting there. My only thing I have an issue with is he's got to lose the belt eventually. He does have to lose that belt. I just, because I like the way he's being, but I kind of also want, if he's going to be a champ, I kind of like the idea of him being the AAA champion, because it would just aggravate so many people.
Yeah.
Intercontinental champion, I'm sorry, I'm kind of an old fuddy on that one. I just want to see it on AJ, just because. AJ or someone else. And originally I wanted on LA Knight, but I like the main event picture, kind of. Punk losing so quickly and then costing LA Knight, I think, is a very brilliant way of doing stuff. But then you got the Jey Uso incident. Because I just go, was someone else supposed to be in this spot and we just had to go with Jey? And then, of course, my favorite part is Roman challenging Bronson Reed because of the shoes. That crap cracked me up. It's like, he just got these shoes all over his neck. I'm like, my man, did you tell me you sprayed those suckers out, right? So yeah. We'll do a show wrestling wise. We'll do like more of an in-depth thing. We'll probably talk about doing that like Monday, or not Monday, but Wednesday. Oh, we got Devin coming back here. CDouble and LaDarius, welcome back to YouTube. Hey, LaDarius been on YouTube for a while. I just stayed away because, look, yeah, shoe collector. Look, if he starts taking gold chains and bicycles, I would sign off on that. I'd be like, Hunter, do it. Have the wrestler run to his car and cry into it. By the way, hope Xavier Woods gets well. He's going to be sidelined with a neck injury, so, which is really crappy because Xavier has been killing it with the whole "give me my money for the hat deal." The morning of the hat was great. But yeah, so LaDarius, anything you want to plug, and like I said, we'll get together to talk wrestling some more. And go from there.
Reminder that Raw's going to be on at 3:00 Eastern tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking at 8, you've missed 5 hours, and I want you. But so just you can find me on that.
Watch it.
Yeah, but you won't watch it live. So
yeah, you'll miss out.
Yeah,
and
you'll miss the live action.
I'll laugh at you.
You get to pause and rewind, which is great. But you can follow me Twitter and TikTok at LaDarius_Brown, Instagram LaDarius_Brown. You can follow me, writer, editor for Beyond Women's Sports, covering AUSL Softball League Series 3 is underway today. You could cover me. I'll be writing more of the WNBA with the WNBA's regular season winding down. Like I said, we'll be here for wrestling talk and everything in between. So, great to see like the viewership, coming back. We appreciate, we were away, things happen in life. Just a reminder to say thank you to all of those who reached out about my mom, and and condolences to C-Dub and his aunt, losing his aunt. So just thank you all you guys just being supportive in a time where it's always you guys support us, we support you. It's always been a mutual thing and nothing but love. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you all because, we went through some hard times, and, it was never like a bad word spoken against each other. It's just we all knew that, trying to come back, we didn't want to just come back and feel like we're pushing ourselves to do it just because. So we took some time off, took some time to kind of remembering and honoring. But, Ron, big thanks to him for being a part of the show, and a big part of having LaDarius back, because this is my brother from another mother. I love this man. He's been good to me. We always talk. I may be going through something he doesn't know about, but his words, he speaks, and it touches my heart, and it helps, because there are times I feel very empty at times, and when you have good friends like that, you don't forget them. So much love to you, brother. And it's never goodbye. It's more see you later is what I like to look at it when it comes to people that pass. And God willing, we will. But yeah, enjoyed the show. CDouble 28, best way to follow us. We'll be putting everything on our YouTube. I'll post it on the Facebooks, the links. Like I said, we'll do a review show. We're going to do a preview show, probably either Thursday or Friday, depending on our schedules, where we're going to give you a really good sneak peek of what to expect this weekend. Finally, a weekend of football. Thank God. That's the way I see it. And now we'll actually be able to watch games and go, okay, now they count. Now we can rip off the bubble wrap. And then we'll discuss wrestling, because, guys, we know you're wrestling fans like us. We'll give it to you because we like it too. So definitely check out LaDarius' stuff too. The man's a great writer. Man talks some good stuff. Does his homework. So definitely hook him up. Want to thank Christy, John Brooks. And then, C-Dub, my thoughts, prayers going out to you. LaDarius, my thoughts, and, for you guys. Thank you there, John. Big Devin, thank you so much. We know you messaged the show asking when we were coming back, so big thank you to that. Winston from the eye test, and Mr. Craig, the wise man. Well, wait a minute. I'll talk about that oracle, or walrus, but either way. Well, I'm not calling you a walrus. That's what my name for Heyman is. But anyway, so big ups to everyone that got to watch. Hey, you hung with us for 3 hours. We appreciate it. So I'm glad to be a part of it, and glad to be back. So for Ron, Tom, and we hope you enjoy. Catch us this week. We'll be talking lots of football and lots of wrestling. So we'll see you soon. Peace.